So to all the Patreon members, all the subscribers, all the viewers, I want to thank you guys for your support. It really means a lot to me. If you guys can do me a favor, please hit the like button, share this video. Check out the links in the description box below if you want to join the Facebook page and join a group where there's other like-minded brothers who are sharing their experiences and sharing content, sharing stories, videos. Check out the link in the description box below for the Facebook page. If you want to join the Patreon page, click the link in the description box below also. Without further ado, the man of the hour, the guy we all know and love, he's back. Sam, what's going on?
Hey, what's going on, Splash? How are you?
Not much, man. Just enjoying life. So, what about you?
All's good. All's good. Yes. Blessed, black, and highly favored.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, man, like I went through the interviews that we had from before, so they're back up and live. Not just yours, but everybody else's interviews that I did previously. I had time today to just comb through it and just put those public, so they're back up. So we've done Norway, Iceland, the DR, Portugal, well, the island of Portugal. Now we're in Sweden.
Yes.
So today you're going to give us some information about Sweden. Like we always do, we start from the beginning. So have you ever been to Sweden before this particular trip that you went on?
No, I'd never been to Sweden before. So I went for the first time last year in September. So this was about the end of the first week of September, around September 5th, September 6th. And then I was there for about 9-10 days almost. Yeah.
Wait a minute. So you're talking about 2023?
No. Last year, 2024.
2024. I was about to say, I'm like, damn, it's been that long?
No, it's 2025.
I know, but you know, my mind is still kind of like 2024, 2025. So I don't know if you meant 4 or 3. All right. So a couple months ago, you went to Sweden.
Yeah.
All right. Have you met anybody? Do you know anybody personally that's been to Sweden?
Personally, no. I just watched YouTube channels of other guys who had been there and who had talked about their experiences there. So that naturally got me a little bit curious. And also, I'd been to Scandinavia before, that Northern European region. So like Norway, Iceland. But no, I'd never been to Sweden. Yeah. And like those other Scandinavian countries like Denmark, Finland, those Nordic countries, I'd never been to those countries either. So those are on my list too, but Sweden was interesting to me. So I decided like, hey, maybe I should check it out. So I did.
You know, the first person I knew that actually been to Sweden and other Scandinavian countries was my dad. My dad and my granddad. And, you know, they're married. So they just kind of like, well, you fill in the blanks. That was the whole attitude. Like, yeah, hey, man, let me tell you, you want to travel, go to them Scandinavian countries like Sweden. You know what I'm talking about? Just check it out. Just check it out. You know, I can't really. That's what they had to say about Sweden. So prior to you going over there, I'm guessing, you know, you're doing your research. And what's the most interesting landmark that you found in your research that you wanted to go see when you went over there? Or before you went over there?
So there's a lot of interesting landmarks that Sweden has. Sweden is a relatively large country from a European standard. It's about the same size as like countries like Norway and Finland, which are pretty large countries. If you look on a map, those are some of the largest countries in Northern Europe. As far as landmarks go, you know, so basically, the interesting thing about Stockholm, the capital city where I visited, Stockholm is actually made up of almost little islands. You would just never guess because there's so many different waterways that go through the city. So even though it seems like it's a city like, you know, a small version of New York, you don't realize until you look on a map that the city is actually made up of small islands because of all the waterways that go through the city. And you would just never notice it. That I thought was the most interesting landmark thing. The fact that the city is literally built up on different little islands, and you just would never know.
Damn, I didn't even know that till you told me.
Yeah, you would never know because it feels like you're in a small version of New York. But when you look on a map, you see the way the country is situated, then you realize that, yeah, it's built up of multiple islands all throughout the country. It's very interesting.
Wow, okay. So you hop on a plane, and how long does it take you to get there?
So it was about 3 hours layover in Iceland, and then from there, it was about another three and a half hours to get to Stockholm, Orlando airport. Yeah. So yeah, it wasn't a direct flight. There was a layover.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So I'm looking at it right now. Hold on, I'm about to wait. I'm about to share it right now. I see what you're talking about. Hold on. Let me here. Right
Bingo.
there on the screen.
Yep.
That's crazy.
Yeah, you would never know though, because you're taking trains, you're taking buses, you would honestly never even know.
And it's all connected.
It's all connected. Yes. Yeah.
So wait a minute. I guess like to get from here to a place like over here, you would take a boat, or is it all connected by bridge?
Most of them are connected by bridges, but there are some far off islands that you would need to take a ferry to. Yeah, but many parts of the country is connected by bridges. Yes,
You know what? I think I read somewhere that Sweden has the most islands out of any country in the world.
that's right. Yes, that's correct.
Yeah, a lot of people they think it's Indonesia. No, it's Sweden.
Yeah, yeah. And again, you would never even realize it when you're there. You just wouldn't suspect it.
Man. All right, so a layover. Damn, I thought it'd been a direct flight because it seems kind of short from
I,
Boston.
I wish. Nah, layover.
So, but I'm sure they had like options, though, right? You just picked the one that had the layover, or each and every flight during that time had a layover.
I think each and every flight did have a layover because I went through a lot of the flights and it seemed like everyone had a layover. And then the farther down I went down the list, the longer the layover was. And I was like, well, I'm not really a big fan of long layovers. I know some guys they're into it because they can explore where they're at in the layover, but I like to get from point A to point B as quick as I can. I don't really like just hanging out.
Right. All right, so you land in Stockholm, and I'm assuming they probably have a big airport, do they?
Actually, no, it's relatively small, but it's easy to navigate, which is good. So it's not like overwhelming, like if you were in like O'Hare in Chicago or like John F. Kennedy in like New York. No, it's relatively smaller than those airports. I'm going to use those airports as examples, just so maybe most brothers have been there, they might be able to make the comparison. But yeah, no, relatively small airport, easy to navigate. It's funny. One of the young ladies that I spoke to, she actually used to work at the airport. So she kind of gave me the rundown of the airport before I got there to kind of help me out, which was very nice of her. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I still haven't been to O'Hare with JFK. I've only drove into New York City. I'll say probably the craziest airport I've been to is the one in Shenzhen, China. That was a crazy airport, and I had to run through that airport a couple of times. So, um, yeah, I haven't even been to those. But if it's a small airport, that's good for brothers like to get from point A to point B. So you check out, everything is fine. And do you rent a vehicle, or is it just Ubers?
So I took a Uber to my Airbnb where I was staying. So the airport is actually quite far outside of Stockholm. So it took me about maybe 35 minutes to actually get to the main area of the city in the part where I was staying. So I stayed in a neighborhood called Vastason. So Vastason is one of the most affluent, probably the most wealthiest neighborhoods in Stockholm. So if
Yeah,
you
I'm
stay,
looking at it right now.
yeah, yeah, if you stay in Vasasan, or if you stay in Norrmalm, or if you stay in Ostermalm, people are gonna look at you like you probably got some money, because those neighborhoods are not cheap to live in.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. Like, okay, the old style.
Mm.
So you staying in Airbnb?
Yes,
Hmm. I remember the picture that you sent looking outside, like of the balcony, the view outside the balcony.
yes.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, if
How
any of
many
you
days?
brothers, oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, if any of you brothers want to see what my Airbnb looked at, join Splash's Facebook group, because I posted all the pictures there back when I went in September.
Yeah, link is in the description box below. There was some nice pictures that you sent, especially the food. Like, usually when you speak on, like, when people talk about Europe, automatically they want to downplay the food. But the plates that you sent, and we'll get to that in a minute, but the plates that you sent on that you posted on Facebook of the food, it was actually like, wow, it looked pretty good.
Delicious Swedish meatballs. You won't be disappointed.
Yeah, because when people think about meatballs, it's like, yeah, whatever. But no, like you can see, like I don't know, the type of gravy or sauce and the seasoning they put on there. I was like, okay, that's different.
Very different. Yeah, smaller portions too, and less crazy oils and seasonings. They got strict food preparation laws in the European Union, not like America.
Right, right. All right. So, how many days were you there?
I was there for about 8 or 9 days almost. Yeah.
Okay, so day one, when you fly in, is it nighttime or during the day?
It's during the day. Yeah, it's the afternoon. So it's around 12, 1 o'clock.
Okay, so do you go out and explore right away, or are you jet lagged?
Jet lag. Yeah, I had to take a nap, had to relax. It's funny when I woke up, like I felt like I could get up and walk around, but like my head was still hurting with a throbbing headache. So I had to go find a pharmacy. Yeah.
Oh wow. So what time do you get up?
So it was probably around 3, 4 o'clock ish. Yeah. The cool thing about Stockholm, it's like it's a very walkable city. So you wouldn't need to rent a car over there. And in fact, I'd advise against renting a car because there's nowhere to park. Like it's a very close together city, almost like a New York, just a very smaller version. And also, Sweden is a very expensive country. So if you are renting a car, you're going to find it difficult to find places to park. And if you are lucky enough to find parking, it's going to be very expensive. Like everyone that I met, most of the Swedes, they don't have cars just because like you can literally just walk around everywhere. And if you don't want to walk, you can take Ubers. There's Ubers everywhere. Or if you don't want to take Ubers, you can take the train. The train's pretty easy to figure out and navigate. But I mostly just walked around. Yeah, just literally walked.
Okay, that's dope. All right, so you get up in time to go to a pharmacy, and it's still like it's not even nighttime yet; it's the afternoon. So what do you do on that first day when you get there?
Yeah, so basically, I had to find the pharmacy, and I was able to locate one on my maps on my phone. Easy 5, 6, 7 minute walk down the street. It was interesting to walk through Stockholm because you can see that the city was literally made for walking. Like it wasn't really made for driving around everywhere. Not like cities like in Texas, for example, where there's big parking lots everywhere, space everywhere. Like it's not like that in Stockholm at all. It's literally situated for just walking, which I think is why a lot of these Europeans in these countries are in very good shape. Because you see outside when I'm walking around, I look, everyone's walking, everyone's riding bikes, everyone's jogging. You know what I mean? So, yeah, very fitness, very nutritious oriented culture. Yeah. So I noticed that even like in the first day that I was there, just walking to the pharmacy. Yeah, I noticed a lot of stuff.
Okay. So to go to the pharmacy, you get some over the counter medication for your headache, and uh, do you end up going out to get something to eat, or do you meet up with somebody? Do you go exploring? What do you do?
Yeah, I did. I met up with a lady. She was actually from Lithuania, I believe. Yeah, she was from Lithuania, but she lived in Stockholm for many years. So she spoke actually three languages. She spoke Lithuanian, Swedish, and English, which was kind of cool. Yeah, you notice this when you go through Europe. Everyone speaks two, three, four languages minimum. Only in America are we retarded. We only speak one language.
Yeah, yeah, that's crazy. 1 second, let me disconnect and connect the audio interface back in. Hold on, real quick. All right, I'm back. Test, test. Hold on. Test, test.
Copy.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, usually it shows up on the hold on, let me double check. Test, test. Yeah. Oh, okay. Hold on. There we go. Wait. All right, you say you can hear me though, right?
Yes, I can hear you.
Usually it shows up on the screen. So, anyways, all right. So you meet up with somebody. She's Lithuanian, right? She speaks a couple of different languages.
Mm.
Y'all go.
Yeah, so we met up at a bar by the water. It was a nice little bar, and we had something to drink. We just chilled out. We talked. I got to learn a lot about her. She was working actually as a massage therapist, and also she said that she traveled all through Europe and she traveled to many different countries, and she spoke multiple languages. And she was living in Stockholm, just her by herself, and she liked the culture, but she said there was a lot of things about Swedish culture that she didn't like compared to Lithuania, where she was from. Because for those of you who aren't aware, Lithuania is a very conservative country. It's a very Eastern conservative Orthodox European country. So very traditional values and very regimented in the fact that men are kind of at the top and women are a bit beneath. But in Sweden, it's the opposite. In Sweden, the culture is very liberal and they're very progressive, very socialist, democratic. You talk to everyone about politics, everyone identifies as a social democrat. For those of you American brothers who aren't aware about social democracy, think about like a Bernie Sanders, for example, from Vermont here in America, or
Yeah.
Alexia Ocasio-Cortez, that congresswoman from New York. Their politics are basically aligned with those people's views.
Right, right. Maybe brothers should explore more of Lithuania. I haven't really heard too much about it until, you know, what you just said right there.
Mhm.
That might align with a lot of brothers' views. Um, so maybe there might be somebody on the internet that has traveled over there. We don't know. Demar says, how easy is it to get women in Sweden as an American? We're gonna get to that real soon. So, we're we're gonna get to that real soon. All right, so you're hanging out with this woman. She has mixed ideologies, two different ideologies, right?
Mm.
And y'all are hanging out, and she takes you to which restaurant?
So it was a bar. I can't remember the name of the bar, but it was right by the water. So all through Stockholm, there's just bars everywhere. So literally, we just met up in a certain area and we said we would just go for a walk and find a place to get a drink. So we literally just met at like a small little park by the water. And then we walked further down and we found a little bar to just grab something to drink. And so we just hung out there. We talked for a bit. It was a very good conversation. I learned a lot about Sweden literally in those hours right when I landed that day. So it was a very good conversation. So I'm happy I got to meet her.
Wow, wow. All right, so you go to the bar, you walk around with her, right? And how old is she?
I don't remember how old she was. She was probably in her late 30s, I think. Yeah,
Oh,
but
okay.
I don't remember how old she was. Yeah. I'm not sure if I even asked. Yeah, I didn't think to. Yeah. Maybe I should
Right.
have.
Now, the way you met her was the same method you used with the other lives that we did. Just going to Instagram, typing in the location, clicking recent, and then reaching out to the women that you see on the recent posts. Correct.
Correct.
All right. Cool. So, what was the most besides? All right, she's telling you about how things are in Lithuania, how
Mm.
they're different in Sweden, how the politics and how things are in Sweden. What else did she tell you that was interesting?
So something that many people I think have no clue is that during the pandemic, Sweden never closed down. Sweden was open the entire time.
Mm,
Bars, nightclubs, restaurants, gyms, stores, everything was wide open. I think the only other country in Europe that was open besides Sweden was Belarus. And like everyone said that the party scene during that time was off the chain in Sweden. So I just found it so crazy that Sweden, one of the most liberal countries in the world, was wide open the whole time, never closed down during the pandemic. But if you look here in America, every liberal state, New York, Massachusetts, California, Oregon, Washington State, they all closed down. Florida was the only state open, and Florida is a conservative state. So I don't know.
right.
It just sounds weird, don't you think, Splash?
Yeah, yeah, it was. I know Atlanta was wide open also, but some people, I guess, they just felt like, hey, man, this is BS. We're not buying it. Just leave it open. Some people they just saw through what was actually going on,
Mm.
and they're just like, "Hey, man, no, you know, we're gonna have an economic collapse if we close everything down." So maybe that's what they were thinking. It was their decision. I remember when I was in Taiwan, they kept everything open. They only closed everything down in 2021 for like a couple of months, right? But 2020, I was watching everything through social media, how everything was closed in America, but Taiwan was wide open all of 2020.
Mm.
I don't know. I guess because I don't know how many cases they had in Sweden or that they quote unquote reported. But if they said, hey, the numbers are low, then we don't need to close anything down. It wasn't until 2021 when things kind of spiked in Taiwan. That's when they closed uh, everything down. But that was like for a couple of months. So, yeah. All right. So everything was wide open, from what she said. And you guys are getting to know each other. You're talking, walking, went to the bar, had a couple drinks. You didn't drink with her, did you?
No, I just had a Coke. Yeah, I'm not a big drinker, really. Yeah, I'll drink
Right.
once in a while, but I don't really drink that much. No, didn't grow up in a drinking family. My parents don't even drink.
Right. All right. So you guys are talking and you're getting to know each other, enjoying each other's company. What happens next? Do you call it a night? Do you meet up with somebody else? Or do y'all do what adults do?
No, I just called it a night. It was Saturday night, and actually, a friend of mine was also traveling to Stockholm. He was traveling from North Carolina, and he's a buddy of mine that I've known since back when I was in middle school. So we were going to link up together in Stockholm. So that was the plan, and his flight was landing that evening. So we were going to link up and then hit the bars and clubs that night. So after the conversation, had some drinks, just called in the night with that chick, met up with my buddy Bashoy. Shout out to him.
Nice, nice. So you meet up with your homie. Where do y'all go?
So we go to the neighborhood called Ostermalm. So guys, Ostermalm is one of the neighborhoods where they have a lot of different bars and clubs that you can walk around in. I'm not gonna lie, some of the clubs are pretty tough to get into in Ostermalm because Ostermalm is considered the richest, like super upscale neighborhood in Stockholm. And a lot of the clubs, you're gonna have to be on a guest list. And to get on the
Right.
guest list, you gotta know people. So it's a whole big hassle. You'll have better luck getting into the bars in Ostermalm, but if you want to go to nightclubs, I would suggest you try the neighborhood called Sodermalm instead. Way easier to get into.
All right. Upscale area.
Mm.
I'm pretty sure there's a dress code too.
Yeah, yeah, you got to be dressed on point at a lot of these clubs, like a dress shirt, a button down, like some khaki, some slacks, good shoes. You really got to be on point because I'm telling you, Ostermalm is like the Manhattan, the Beverly Hills, the Wynwood or the I'm trying to think of like rich neighborhoods in America, but you get the idea.
Right. Right, right. All right. So, but were y'all dress ready for the occasion, or did y'all eventually end up going into a club? Did somewhere let you, a club let you in, or were you turned away at most of the clubs y'all attempted to go into?
Yeah, a bunch of the clubs we were turned away, but we were able to get into some bars. You know what I mean? So bars, you won't really have much issue, but it's the clubs that's really difficult. Because if your name's not on that guest list, they're like, nah. And like, I guess some people might think, oh, maybe it's because I'm black, I'm black. No, 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 no. Because we met some British chicks when we were in line going to another club. And we watched them as they were trying to get into another club. And we're just like, okay, let's see what happens here. And they went up to the guy. The guy asked them, oh, guest list? They said, no. He said, get out of here. So it's not a race thing, guys. You just have to know people. You have to have connections. You have to be on the guest list. That's just the way it is. If you brothers really want to get into a club, go anywhere aside from Ostermalm. If you go to any other clubs in the city outside of Ostermalm, you're most likely good. Just dress on point though, because Swedes, they dress very well, very upscale, very classy, very sophisticated. It's not like here in America where every girl's wearing sweatpants and Timberland boots. No, 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 no.
Yeah. That sounds like Korea. Like Korea, like everybody is on point
Mm.
with their attire. I don't mean to jump the gun, but oh, my bad, my bad. Oh, wait, 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 wait. Oops, oops. It just hold on. I had it there. Wait a minute. Yeah, I don't mean to jump the gun, but that's the plate I was talking about earlier.
Yes,
Right
Swedish
here.
meatballs. Yes, with mashed potatoes and lindenberries and cucumbers.
This is lindenberries.
Lindenberries, yes, homegrown in Sweden. Lindenberries.
At first, when I saw, I thought it was cranberries.
Lindenberries, only in Sweden. Lindenberries.
They taste better than cranberries.
Way better. Hell yeah.
Nice. And this is mashed potatoes.
Mashed potatoes, yes.
That look different.
Yeah, I know. It's different. Yeah. I don't know if it's the food coloring or what.
Was it kind of buttery or?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, a little bit.
Not too much.
No, no, not too much. Not too much. Not too salty. Yeah, not too salty.
It was just right.
Just right. Yes.
And fellas, y'all see there's a plate for two.
Oh no, that was my friend. That was my buddy.
Oh, I'm about to say.
Yeah, like no, man, I'm not gonna just ditch my homie, for shorties,
Yeah, you should have let me keep up with the live. Like, yeah, I had me a breezy.
No capping on Splash's channel. No capping.
How much did a plate like this cost?
Oh God, I don't remember. It might have been like $25, $26. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, guys. Sweden is a very expensive country. So, like, if you brothers have been to New York or like Los Angeles, like prices are pretty high when you go out to eat, when you go out to drink and stuff. Sweden is the same way. I think Sweden's actually one of the most richest countries in Europe. So Sweden, Switzerland, Norway, Denmark. Yeah, these are one of the top most expensive. Oh, Luxembourg, Monaco. Yeah, these are among the top 10 most expensive countries in Europe. So yeah, well, the good thing about expensive countries, they typically tend to be the most safe. So at least
Yeah,
you have that level of security. Like you don't feel like you're walking late at night, someone's gonna grab your phone. No, because majority of the people are wealthy, so they wouldn't have a reason to steal your phone. Like, but if you're going to like Southern Europe or Eastern Europe, that's a bit of a different story. But yeah, these rich, wealthy countries, Nordic countries, Scandinavian countries, they got mad bread.
man. So brothers out there, y'all heard them. Like, if you want to travel to Sweden, you're gonna have to stack up a little bit. You know, the flight's probably gonna be cheaper, but
Mm,
you know, have some money in your pocket when you go to Sweden. You know, plates like these, $25. But man, I mean, that looks good. All
yeah.
right, let's get back. Let's get back. So you you guys go to a bar, you end up in a couple of bars
Mhm.
or just one bar, right? And what's the vibe like? What kind of music were they playing? Was it top 40 or was it hip hop? What were they playing?
They were playing top 40 hip hop and Swedish music. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They got a lot of Swedish pop stars over there. Interestingly enough, a lot of famous actors actually come from Sweden, as far as some famous singers too. Zara Larsson's probably one of the most famous singers from Sweden. She's a pop artist. Also, the band ABBA, they're also from Sweden. And also, there's a bunch of actors who are pretty famous in Hollywood that came from Sweden too. If you've seen the Rocky films, the villain who plays Ivan Drago, the actor's name is Dolph Lundgren. He's from Sweden.
Oh, I didn't even know he was Swedish. I thought he was from like Russia to Ukraine or something like that.
No, he played a Russian in those movies, but the man is from Sweden.
Nice. Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, there's him and also Alexander Skarsgård. He played in the movie Legend of Tarzan. Maybe some of your brothers have seen that. His brother Bill Skarsgård as well. He played in the scary movies, the It movies with the clown. You know that evil clown? Yeah, there's Bill Skarsgård. Gustav Skarsgård, who played in the hit show Vikings. Maybe some of you seen the show Vikings. Gustav Skarsgård played in that series as well. And Joel Kinnaman, who played in House of Cards and other shows, he's Swedish. Um, Rebecca Ferguson from the movies Mission Impossible, also Swedish, yeah. So a lot of Swedish talent has come from that country and has come to mainstream America in entertainment.
A lot of people that I looked up from Sweden, like even just typing in Swedish woman or Swedish entertainer, Swedish celebrity, it's like everybody has blonde hair, blue eyes over there.
A lot of them, but a lot of them dye it too. So sometimes it's not natural. But yeah, you're gonna see a lot of it. Yeah, it's crazy. Like the plethora of like beautiful women that you're gonna see. I'm not even capping, guys. You're gonna be like blown away a little bit compared to like other places you've been. And it's very interesting because even if you go to like fast food restaurants, whether it's McDonald's or Burger King, because they have them over there. Even you'll see beautiful women working behind the counter over there. I went to the grocery store to get groceries to cook some lunch and dinner on some days, and I would see beautiful girls working in the butcher shop in the grocery store. Like it's crazy. And the reason why you see beautiful women just working everywhere, even in regular jobs, is because it's a very egalitarian society, okay? These Scandinavian Nordic countries, whether it's Norway, Sweden, Denmark, Iceland, Finland, super, super egalitarian countries. Egalitarian meaning they believe men and women are equal, right? Everybody's equal, everyone's the same. So there's no one better than anyone else, okay? Even though they're very wealthy, rich countries, and some of them are arrogant naturally, but it is what it is. But still, like whether you're working in a grocery store, whether you're working in a McDonald's, whether you're working in a department store, whether you're working in a clothing store, IKEA, IKEA, for those of you who don't know, IKEA started in Sweden, and that's where it's
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
it did.
So everyone is the same, everyone is equal. There's no shame in working these regular jobs. So naturally, beautiful women are going to be working these jobs.
Man, I like that mindset a little bit, like, because over here it's like people don't appreciate the jobs and the positions that people have that makes your experience what it is or smoother. Like when you go to an IKEA and you ask one of the people in the area for help, like, hey, where do I find the sofas? And they guide you over there. A lot of people will or society would kind of look down at their position because it's like, hey, you don't make enough, you don't make a lot of money,
Mm.
right? Or, you work in retail or whatever, but when you step outside of America, there's a lot of countries where they don't think like that. When
Right.
I was in Asia, I'm not going to say all, but a lot of people didn't really think like that. Canada, surprisingly, they don't really think like that. If you get around by public transportation and you work in a warehouse, you a forklift driver, they would, um, those women up there, if they like you, they like you. They don't care what you do for a living. So I do like that mindset. But
Yeah, I'm
go
glad
ahead.
you
Go
mentioned
ahead.
public transportation. I'm glad you mentioned that actually, Splash. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off just now.
No, I was finished. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I was gonna say, like, literally everyone takes public transportation there because the trains, the buses are very efficient, and also they have little scooters that you can quickly rent with your phone, just paying through an app. So a lot of people don't really own cars. So if you were there and you didn't own a car, if you were living there, it wouldn't be like people would look down on you. Versus there's places here in America where they would.
Yeah, yeah. See, it might be one of those countries. Is it like Germany where your vehicle can't be older than 5 years old? If it's going to be driven on the roads, is that how it is or no?
I don't know for sure. Yeah, I can ask one of the Swedish girls though.
Right. That's why, like in Germany, a lot of people is just they don't even bother trying to own a vehicle because it's like, well, after 5 years, I got to get rid of it. So it's like people with money, they get vehicles over there. Like right now, it's 2025. Anything like if you have a vehicle that's 2019, you got to get rid of it. You can't. It's legally you're not allowed to legally operate a vehicle in 2025
Hmm.
that's a 2019 vehicle on the roads in Germany right now.
Hmm.
They will tow it. So, but yeah, I'm glad to hear that a lot of people take public transportation. I'm pretty sure it gets kind of crowded over there. That's the only uncomfortable thing about public transportation is your privacy.
Yeah.
But all right, so back to the bars. Like, do you meet any women while you were at the bar, or you and your friend were just having a good time?
Yeah, we had a good time. We talked to some ladies. The cool thing about Stockholm, guys, when you go out to the bars, you're going to notice it's a very international city. So you don't have just like blonde haired, blue eyed Swedish chicks walking around. We met chicks from Serbia, chicks from Denmark, chicks from Russia, chicks from Ukraine, chicks from Lithuania, like I mentioned before, chicks from Iran, chicks from all over the place are there in Stockholm. Yeah, there's a lot of economic opportunities in Stockholm that many other Europeans and people around the world are coming for because naturally because the culture is a little expensive, but the salaries and the wages are extremely high. You know what I'm saying? So that attracts a lot of Europeans, especially Europeans from Southern Europe, where, the economies aren't doing that good and tourism's the only thing keeping those countries afloat, like Spain and Italy, for example, and France. So they come to other countries for better economic opportunity and see if they can make more money. You know what I mean? Because a lot of these other countries in Europe, there's like a glass ceiling you can't break through to like make as much money as you want, like in the UK, for example. That's why everyone who has money in the UK is leaving.
Hmm. Interesting. Interesting. So y'all having a good time. You meet with women. You exchange contact information, and you call it a night.
Yes.
All right. So you call it a night. Next day, what do you have planned and lined up for the next day?
So the next day, actually, I found a local gym that was literally 2 minutes up the street from my Airbnb. Really nice gym. It's called Sats, guys. Sats is actually a Scandinavian gym that is pretty much in every Scandinavian country. I actually went to a Sats when I was in Norway, so that's how I knew about it. It's a really good gym, guys, and the visitor pass is going to cost you about 20 bucks a day, but if you're not going to the gym every day, that's really nothing. But yeah, so I got to go to the gym that morning, conveniently 2 minute walk up the street. So yeah, it was good. Yeah, yeah, good gym. Yeah, and the staff there was really polite, very respectful. Everyone speaks English in Sweden, just so you guys know. English is taught in primary school, elementary school in our American standards. So yeah, you won't have any issues with a language barrier when you go over there, guys. So when you're going to stores, bars, clubs, gyms, hotels, everyone speaks English.
Nice, nice. Yeah, I did a street view right now, and I'm seeing it's a lot of people on the street view riding their bikes. So, but man, all right. So you went to the gym. Oh, that's one thing I forgot to ask. I mean, you mentioned it a little bit when you was at the bar the night before. Um, no sign of people hating that, there's black people in the club, you know, nobody who was, just showing that overt racism when you were in the clubs at all throughout your trip.
No, never. I never really felt that when I was going out in the bars and clubs. In fact, we felt like we were getting love and interest, because I remember we went to one bar. There was actually a Black American guy who was working in the bar. He was from Florida and he was actually living there in Sweden on a visa. And he was working at this bar. And so he was actually pouring us drinks and stuff like that. And he was asking us, "Oh my God, like you guys are American, where y'all from?" Like, and we were, talking and, chopping it up. And then this lovely young Swedish blonde haired, blue eyed chick pulls up right on my left side and is waiting to order a drink. And like the American guy, he was too busy with other customers. He didn't even bother to notice her. And I looked at the bartender, I looked at her, and I said, "How can he not see this beautiful young lady right here?" And then she just looks at me. She's like, "Oh my God!" Like, "Oh, thank you." I mean, I don't know. Maybe he's busy. I don't know. It's like, girl, I would have definitely noticed you if I was working over there behind that bar. Like, how are you? So we just started chopping it up. She's asking, "Oh, where are you from? You're American?" Like, yeah, yeah, we're American. And so we are just having conversation. It was very brief. And then, I asked her, like, yeah. So basically, towards the end of the conversation, I asked, "So, like, you hung out with Americans. You live here in Sweden. Do you prefer Swedish guys or American guys?" She was like, "American guys, of course." Like, are you kidding me? What kind of question is that?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, yeah, she said that. And then the minute she said that, the bartender, the brother from Florida, he finally notices her. And then he turns, he said, "They all do, man. They all do."
Wow.
Yeah, it
Wow.
was so funny. Yeah, it was hilarious.
Talking to women over there sounds like it's a breeze. It was that easy, huh?
Yeah, yeah. Like that brother really gave me some insight. Like, okay, this brother came all the way from Florida. He's living here. Like, and even my friend Bishoy, the guy from North Carolina, he's not black. He's Egyptian, so he's like more, I guess, light skinned Arab. But like, yeah, he was asking the guy from Florida, like, "Wait, like you're from Florida? Like, what are you doing, living all the way over here?" He's like, "Look around. Why not? Like, have you seen the women here?" Like, he was looking at my friend like he was an idiot.
Right. Right. Damn. Damn. We still got 7 days to go.
Mm.
So, all right. You go to the gym, you have a good workout. What do you do next?
Yeah, so I actually arranged to get some coffee with a lovely young woman from Iran. She was from Iran. So she was born and raised in Sweden, but she was an first generation Swedish Iranian. So she had Iranian immigrant parents. Yeah. So we met up for a coffee. Yeah. Very lovely Iranian lady. Very beautiful tan skin, olive skinned Iranian lady. Yeah. Spoke Swedish, Persian, Farsi, and English.
Damn.
Mm.
Multi-talented.
Multi-talented. Oh man, beautiful woman too. I was like, my goodness. I mean, I've met Iranian women here in the States, and I knew that they were all good looking, but she was just like, wow. I was kind of blown away. I was like, whoa, I don't know if I'm ready for this country. There's beautiful women everywhere. It's crazy.
Man. So you meet up with her. Where do y'all go again?
So we met up at a local coffee shop, like literally 5 minutes from my Airbnb. Small little tiny coffee shop, you know. We just sat outside because it was September. The weather was pretty decent. So we just sat outside. We're just chopping it up and we're talking, you know. She's telling me about how her family came from Iran to Sweden, the culture, the life, you know. There's a lot of different immigrants in Sweden, you know, a lot of Eritreans, a lot of Ethiopians, a lot of Somalians, a lot of Afghanis, Pakistanis, Iranians, Iraqis, just Indians. Like it's very multicultural. And like the more I spoke to her, the more I started to realize, wow, it's not just blonde haired, blue eyed Swedish chicks here. You got a lot of variety.
Yeah, one of my homies, he went to Sweden a couple years ago, and he was just walking through the streets, with his camera phone, recording, sending us videos. There's a lot of East Africans over there in Sweden. A
Mhm.
lot of them.
A lot, and that's become a problem actually in recent years, interestingly enough, because what happened is the Swedish government, the Social Democrat Party, being the very liberal progressive, oh, let's help everyone, let's bring everyone in. Well, unfortunately, they didn't have the proper parameters and regulations in place to integrate those people in, as many as they brought in. So what happens with a lot of these super liberal left-wing countries is they want to help everyone, they want to bring people in, they want to take people from these war-torn third world countries and assist them, which is not a bad thing. It's good to help people. But the problem is they try to bring too many people in and they don't integrate them into society fully. So then what happens in Sweden is you have these ghettos and these other opposite societies which are on the outskirts of the city where all the immigrants live. And also because a lot of them, they're not able to learn Swedish quick enough, or they're just getting handouts from the government, stipends, welfare, because it's a very socialist country, right? So, you know, they give welfare to like all of their citizens, even the immigrants, which is now ticking the Swedish citizens off because it's like, we pay a lot of taxes. Like Sweden's pay a super high income tax. It's kind of crazy. It's like, oh my God, if you show people in Florida and Texas how much taxes these Swedes pay, they would be like, oh my God, how can you live in a country like that? But because the quality of life is so good, Swedes are happy to pay this crazy amount of taxes because, you know, the quality of life is good and
Yeah.
everything is so efficient. But the problem is with the immigrant situation, the influx of immigrants was too much for the Swedes to handle. So now then you have these immigrants who now, what do? They can't find work, they can't find jobs. Local Swedes are not hiring them. So what are they going to do? Some of them join gangs, some of them go to crime, and some of them, you know, will sell illicit substances. Let's just keep it coded for the YouTube algorithm. You know what I mean?
Narcotics.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's
Sounds
got
like Canada.
yeah, it's gotten so bad now. You got these gangs like they're doing shootouts and things like that.
Mm.
Now, of course, if you're in the inner city, you know, in the regular neighborhoods where the tourists are and everything and the regular Swedes live, you're not going to see any of these shootings and stuff. But if you go outside the city, yeah, you're going to see a whole different side of Sweden. Like it's almost like two parallel societies almost,
Mm.
literally like two parallel societies. One society is where a lot of the immigrants from these war-torn countries are residing, and then the other society where the local Swedes are, and they don't even know what's going on because they're sheltered, completely sheltered, like fully sheltered. They would have no idea what's going on unless they go outside the city, and then they hear on the news or on the newspaper or on the radio what's going on, and then they realize, oh, we have an immigrant crisis in this country and we got to do something about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You know what? Like I was talking to a family member the other day because my mom's side of the family, they're all from Panama, and my dad's side of the family, they're all foundational Black Americans from South Carolina. And I was telling them, like, you can't expect a country, to be what it is that you think they are supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? If you're from another country and you migrate to that country, you can't expect that country to just do the right thing all the time just because they're handing you an invitation. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you got to mentally prepare. And for some people, things go good. For a lot of people, things actually work out. But when you migrate to another country, you should always have in the back of your mind, like, if I'm one of the ones that actually make a good living and I'm fortunate to make a substantial amount of money and have disposable income, you know, this is why you see a lot of people, especially West Africans, in America, they'll take that money and then they might build a home. They'll take that money and build a home that's much cheaper back home, or a business or whatever, because you never know. Now, they're about to do mass deportation, at the end of the month, starting at the end of the month over here in America. And who knows, they might do the same thing over there in Sweden. If it bothers them enough, I don't know what their moves are, but if they do the same thing over there as they're going to do over here, then it's like, hey man, it's sad. You think you're getting a better life only for them to shun you, just to be a permanent underclass over here. And then, like you said, people get into a life of crime.
Yeah, yeah. It is sad. Actually, it's funny. I met a guy who was working at one of the bars. He was from Chile. He was a young guy from Chile. He was born and raised in Sweden, but his parents were from Chile. And his girlfriend was a girl from Poland. So she was a Polish chick. And they were telling me about how immigrants who are not Swedish, born and raised Swedes,
Yeah.
they're blue-eyed, they have a very different life from the immigrants who may not necessarily live in these affluent neighborhoods. Because even the Polish chick is white, right? Poland's a white country. But she had said, like, she doesn't fully feel sometimes like she's accepted in that country because of her nationality, not the color of her skin, nationality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, that's everywhere you go, but she was living, that Polish chick, she's living in a decent area, right?
So no, because I remember when she asked me, "Oh, like where are you staying?" I said, "Oh, I'm staying in Vossasson." She was like, "Oh, you're staying in like one of the richest neighborhoods in the city." She's like, "I don't live anywhere near that area. Like we live in like the ghetto, basically."
Right.
What she said.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah. So she was very impressed that we were staying in Vossasson, because me and my buddy Bashoy, we literally were staying in basically the same building. We found two different Airbnbs, two one bedrooms in the same building, like literally. And so we were right next to each other. And when she found out we were staying in Vossasson, she was like, "Whoa, like you're staying in like the rich neighborhood in the city." Yeah. And a bunch of Swedish chicks I talked to, when they found out where I was staying, they're like, "Wow, oh, you must be doing well." I was like, "I just did my research. That's
Right, right. All right, so you're hanging out with the Iranian chick. You at a coffee shop. You're learning a lot from her. The women are definitely putting you up on game.
Yes.
And where does it go from there?
So no, we just called it a day. She had to work, so I was like, "All right, yeah, go do your thing, girl." In my head, I was like, "I'm gonna go meet up with another chick anyway, so it's all good."
Oh, okay. So you meet up with another chick,
Mm.
and is she Swedish, or where's she from? This
She's
other
Swedish.
chick.
Yeah. She's Swedish. She was actually a student. Yeah, she was a student at the I think Stockholm University. Yeah, she was studying political science, I believe. Yeah, really cool girl. Very interesting. Very well traveled. She traveled a lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
So she sound like, if she's going to school, she's probably kind of young, right?
Yeah. She was in her early 20s. Yeah. And it was funny because we originally scheduled to meet up at a bar. And then she texted me like before. And then she's like, "Hey, you know what? Like, instead of meeting at a bar, why don't we just meet at your place and like I can make drinks for us?" I was like, That's a good idea. Why didn't I think of that? So yeah, the plans changed, and she ended up just coming to my place, and we met there for the first time when I opened the door and brought her in.
Nice. It's good that she was comfortable.
Yeah, you find that in Sweden, in these Scandinavian countries, there's a high level of trust, especially like depending on which country you come from. Because I think because overall, aside from the immigrant gangs and the shootings, Stockholm overall is very safe. Sweden in general is quite safe, aside from the other issues that are going on. So in the Swedish girl's mind, it's like, okay, you're a tourist, you're from America, or you're from the UK or France or whatever. The chances of you committing a crime against her are not likely, because then you would have everything to lose because you're a tourist. So for a lot of them, it's kind of like, oh, okay, like he's not really gonna do anything unless he's stupid. So yeah, whatever.
Right.
Yeah, it's different, you know what I mean? It's not like if you're in like Colombia or Brazil where you have to literally watch your back and be careful all the time.
Right. A lot of guys ain't really learning their lessons down in those countries.
No, they're not. Yeah. And the thing about these Scandinavian countries, because they're very wealthy people, they're very affluent, they have money, they're very independent, they're very feminist, they already have money in their careers. So if they do something to you as a tourist, like drug you and rob you, for example, they have everything to lose, because the society won't let them pass by doing that. But in these countries like Colombia and Brazil, where the poverty level's higher, and these countries are more second, third world, a lot of them who don't have jobs, who aren't working, who don't have careers, who aren't going to university to pursue an education, they have nothing to lose by robbing you. They have everything to gain. And that's why you always hear these stories on the news.
Right. All right, so she comes over. You said that she wanted to come over to cook for you, correct?
No, she wanted to make drinks. So the plan was
Okay.
drinks, yeah. So me being a gentleman, I went to the local liquor store, bought a few drinks, had everything ready, and she mixed the drinks and prepared everything. Yeah. I was hands off from that moment.
You just watched her drink.
I just watched her make the drinks, yeah.
Right. Well, no, I'm talking about like, because you say you're not that much of a drinker, so you just kind of sat back and let her get a drink on. You didn't sip with her, or you just like,
Yeah. I took a few sips.
okay.
Yeah, took a few sips. Obviously, I want to be included. I don't want to make her feel like, oh, like, why is he not drinking? Because you know how women are.
Right. All right. So y'all getting loose off the goose, right?
Yes.
Now, loose off the goose, do y'all end up goosing, or it's just conversation?
Yeah, it was just conversation, because the funny part is, Splash. So apparently she actually broke her foot a few days prior. So she literally, when she showed up and I opened the door, she was there with crutches.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. She was there with crutches. And then she was like, does this building have an elevator? I was like, sweetheart, no, there's no elevator in this building. I'm on the second floor. We're gonna have to take the stairs. He was like, oh gosh. Okay, well, I'm here. I guess I'm going to have to wobble up. And then this girl literally, she's like, can you help me? I was like, okay. And literally, I just helped her all the way up the stairs. And she just ended up getting up the top. She's like, oh, okay. Where's your apartment? I was like, right here. It's the funniest thing. Oh my God. Yeah, it was.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Hell, a broken foot. Shit. I mean, we can make it work.
Yeah,
You know
that's
what I'm saying?
like she didn't quit. Like these Swedish women, they're very independent, right? So
Yeah.
they want to show you that they're at your level.
Yeah, I mean, shit. I don't need her to be on her feet. I just need her to just lay down. You know what I'm saying? Just relax.
Facts.
You need your legs elevated up anyway.
Facts. That's what I was thinking in my mind. You know what I'm saying? Especially because like she kind of changed the plans on me. She talked about like, oh, like let's just have drinks at your place. I'm like, in my head, I'm like, well, I mean, I know what that means.
Right. How did she break her foot? What did she say?
She was in a marathon. Yeah, she was in a marathon. And I think what happened was she fell and then all the tension went to her foot, and bam.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, yeah. Because these Swedes, when I told you, like they're very athletic, they're always running, they're always doing sports and things like that. So yeah, she was running a marathon a few days before, and yeah, messed up her foot.
Okay.
Yeah, I remember like it was true because I was following her on Instagram and she was showing in her Instagram story like when the marathon was starting and she had the marathon shirt on, all excited, ready to run. And then she shows up to my door and she's got a broken foot.
Man. All right, so y'all drinking. You got a woman there with a broken foot, but y'all enjoying each other's company. And what's like the most interesting thing that you learned about her that she told you?
So she said that women in Sweden are extremely feminist, right? And typically women who are very feminist in very liberal countries tend to be very liberated, shall we say. I think you know what I'm about to get into. And
Right.
she told me that the average Swede in their 20s typically has a 50 to 100 body count in their early 20s.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like I said, they're very sexually liberated because in their minds, there's nothing wrong with a woman with a high body count. There's nothing wrong with a woman who's a single mother because women and men are equal. So if a man can have 100 body count, a woman can also have 100 body count. If a man can go out and do whatever he wants to do and hook up with 10 girls in one night, then a woman can also hook up with 10 guys in one night. And there's nothing wrong with that. And if you say there's something wrong with that, you're a misogynist.
See,
Yeah.
the thing is, that's the misconception that a lot of women have about men. They think that if a man can bang 10 women in a night, you know, every guy doesn't want to bang 10 women in a night.
Mm.
I think guys, they just want to get with enough women to where they're comfortable, where it doesn't come off weird dealing with their soulmate. If they end up meeting their soulmate, it's kind of like women want experienced men.
Hmm.
Men don't want experienced women. It's the opposite. So it's kind of like they got to make up an excuse in their mind because they want to be feminists. Like, hey, if y'all could do it, we could do it too.
Hmm.
We don't do this because, yeah, I mean, everybody enjoys sex. I think most people would rather be at home with their significant other that truly cares about them than to be dealing with a bunch of bitches that don't really like them at all and end up failing anyways. Really, guys go out there to get the experience with women, whether it's in the bedroom or relationships, so that because women like experienced men.
Mm.
If there's a woman who's 23, 24, and she meets a guy that she likes and he's a virgin, she don't want to deal with him because it's like, what does he know? What's wrong with him? I need a man that knows what to do, how to control me, and I'm not trying to teach him. That's why guys kind of get it out their system to be ready, man ready for a woman. But for us, it's the opposite for a woman. But hey, women, it is what it is today. It's no shame anymore. And I'm perfectly fine with people doing whatever it is that they want to do, but just don't cry about the consequences, whether it be good or bad. You know what I'm saying? This is what you wanted. So, if that's what women want to do, yeah. But I don't understand the logic behind. Well, if a man can bang 10 women in a night, then we could do it too. It's you know But hey, some women they're sexually liberated until because there's always somebody that want it, whether they're 20 or they're 60. Somebody wants it. So that's how they thinking. But anyways, enough of me rambling. Um but at least she's being honest. So
Yes.
guys, if you go over to Sweden, just know the woman you dealing with, she's somewhat attractive. Uh she has a high body count.
Yep.
So it shouldn't bother you. You know what I'm saying? You heard it now. So it's your choice whether you want to take that seriously or not. Now, with women wanting to, well, I won't say wanting, but seeing that it's okay and it's nothing to have a high body count. I mean, what's the divorce rate over there? What's the marital rate?
It's interesting. The marital rate's very low. People don't really get married like that.
I
And if
can imagine.
they get married, they usually get married later in life, not early, like 40s or 50s.
Oh shit.
Yeah, because over there it's not like they don't look at it as, oh, I'm in my 20s, I need to get married. No, no. This is a more traditional conservative mindset. These people don't think that way. They think that they can live life as long as they want to. And if they have a domestic partner, hey, like boyfriend, girlfriend, yeah, sure. Committed relationship partner, fine. But like to get a ring, get marriage, this is very outdated notion to many of them. And another thing is in a Swedish wedding, it's very different from traditional weddings like we see in America. You know, in America, usually at a wedding, what happens is the groom goes in first, the man who's getting married, he goes in first. He's waiting at the front of the venue and everyone's looking at him and he's waiting for the bride to come in. And usually the bride comes in typically escorted by a father, a
Mm-hmm.
brother, an uncle, a grandfather, some sort of male figure. It's never a female figure, interestingly enough, who escorts the bride in with her white dress down the aisle to meet the groom who's getting married at the front of the venue. In
Right.
Sweden, it doesn't work like that. In Swedish weddings, the groom and the bride who are getting married, they walk in together side by side at the same time to show that men and women are equal.
Mm. Interesting. So, guys, man, like when y'all go over there, you can choose to have whatever relationship you want with these women. But me personally, from what I'm hearing, I would advise to just go over there, have your fun, and leave. You know what I'm saying? Don't fall in love with nobody over there, right? You know, it's and if you catch a woman catching feelings, like, hey, you got to snap her out of it. Like, hey, what you doing? So, all right, so this is the culture, the
Yeah.
politics over there, and you know, I don't. I'm not saying anything's wrong with it. It's just you guys choose to approach it the way you see it necessary. If you decide to go over there. So, all right, you guys are having a conversation. You're drinking. What happens next?
Yeah, so we're having a good time, and then she says, "Oh yeah, it's getting late. Like I should probably go because I have to get on the train, and my foot is broken, so it's going to take a while for me to get to the train."
Mm,
And I'm just like, "Girl, you're absolutely right. Go ahead, let's call it a night." And she's like, "Yes, would you like to walk with me to the train?" I was like, "Oh, sure. I mean, I'm on vacation. I got nothing better to do. It's not like I have work tomorrow." So we
yeah.
just walk together to the train station, and we give her a hug. She leans in. She like tries to make out with me. I'm like, all right, whatever. Give her the little kiss back, blah, blah, blah. Send her on her crippled way.
Oh, damn. She tried to make out with you?
Yeah.
Oh, 100 bodies try to make out with you? Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, I ain't like I would only do that if that was like my actual girl. I ain't doing all that with some chick I just met. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying this against you. I'm talking about her.
Hmm.
But I guess that's how they get down over there.
That's how they get down, man. If they like you, they're going to show it very quickly.
Yeah. So she leaves. The night ends, or do you go out?
Yeah, the night ends. That's it. I guess we'll sleep.
All right. Day number 3. What do you get into?
So I actually met another Swedish chick. We got some coffee. So it was funny because she was working that morning, but she said like I can leave on my break and I can come meet you. So basically, she shows up, and it's funny because she shows up. She's riding her bike. So she's riding her bike. She parks it. She locks it, and she comes. She's like, "Hello, Sam. Hi." I'm like, "Hello. How are you? Nice to meet
Mm,
you." Yeah, so she's all happy to see me. I'm like, "How was your bike ride?" She's like, "Oh, yes, good. I always ride my bike here in Stockholm." I was like, "Wow, Yeah, I see a lot of you be riding bikes. I was like, yes, yes, we are all about fitness and health and wellness. I was like, hey, I'm down with that.
Right, right. You
Yeah.
know, so by her saying that, majority of the women over there, they're more fit than women in America.
Yes, you will not see many fat people over there. Actually, you won't see many ugly people over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Swedish girl the night before said the same thing. She's like, "Yeah, Sam, we don't have a lot of ugly people here, you know." Yeah, because bro, everyone's in shape, everyone's in the gym, everyone's walking. You know, the portion sizes of food are smaller. Like, I'm gonna put it this way, right? You're gonna see a plethora of beautiful women everywhere you go. Like you won't see really in America unless you go to Miami. Miami is a very different story. Okay, but not every city in America is Miami. Okay,
Right.
so
So brothers, y'all heard them, right? Over there in Stockholm, Sweden, it's the three F's. They fine, they fit, and they fucking.
yes,
Yeah.
bingo.
Fine, fit, and fucking. That's Sweden.
That's facts. Yes,
Damn. All right. Yeah, I need to lock in on Airbnb right now.
facts, facts. Well, I mean, shout out to your pops because yeah, your pops was spot on. I mean, your pops was spot on.
Yeah.
Yeah, so anyway, yeah, so what I've noticed in that country is like the plethora of beautiful women is kind of off the chain. It's unlike anything you'll see in America unless you're in Miami, of course. And you know, this has been this way since like the 60s and the 70s from what I've read. And as a matter of fact, there was an entrepreneur, a millionaire named John Casablanca. He was an American guy years ago. He started a modeling agency in New York called Elite Model Management, all right? So like Kendall Jenner, like all those models you've heard of, they belong to that agency, right? In
Hmm.
some shape or form. And when they asked this guy John Casablanca in an interview years ago, like way back in the 80s, 90s, like, oh, like how were you able to get elite model management, your agency to like so to be the top, one of the top agencies like in the game, you know, going against like Ford model agency and like Wilhelmina, these big modeling agencies in New York and Paris. And John Casablanca just looks at the guy and he says, oh, you know, it was quite easy actually. I just took a flight to Stockholm, Sweden, and I would just sign models off the street, just walking around. That's all.
Mm.
That's all he did. Literally, he would fly to Stockholm, Sweden, and just sign models off the street. That's what he did. That's what he said he did, and it worked.
Damn. Damn. So man, I'm looking forward to going over there.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to going over there. So you meet up with this girl, she shows up on a bike. Her limbs ain't broken, are they?
No, 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 no. She's a dancer, so she was in good shape.
Everything works on her.
Everything works. Yes, yes. I
All
was
right.
flattered she took a time from her break at work to come see me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, damn, like, yeah, that's yeah, that's different because women out here is like, it's just work comes first to them, and then they got to find a babysitter after work, and they want you to pay for the babysitter. It's just no, but her, she's going out of her way to come visit you.
Yeah, yeah. And what's interesting about her, she had a very flexible schedule as well because she was actually her own boss. She owned a dance studio. So she is the boss of the dance studio and she has instructors who work under her and she runs the dance studio and she's been running it for a number of years. And she's even traveled to America, she said, to New York for dance competitions and things like that. And she's been teaching it for quite some time. So this is her profession. And this is something she's been very passionate about for years. And she talked about how before that she worked at a bank. And even though the bank paid her good, but she wasn't truly happy because it wasn't really her passion to work at a bank. So she took it upon herself to pursue her dream and start the dance studio in Stockholm. And the dance studio has turned out to be very lucrative and she's done very well for herself. Yeah, so she works for herself. She doesn't answer anyone, she doesn't punch a clock and she really enjoys where she is now. So that was really interesting.
Man, I'm happy for anybody that could start up a business and thrive through it. That inspires me to want to do that. It's just you got to find out what you're passionate about and make it happen. You know, that's nice. So y'all meet, and what do y'all end up doing? Do you go get something to eat, or y'all walk around? What do y'all do?
Yeah, so we walked around. She showed me around that Stockholm area where we were. So that area where we met up for coffee, it was like the downtown area. So we just walked around. She showed me downtown. She's like, "Oh, if you and your friend get the chance, you should go to this restaurant." And then she was like, "Oh, if you and your friend get the chance, go to that restaurant. Oh, you need to go to this cafe. Oh, if you like to shop, you should go over here." Like she just kept pointing things as we were walking, and I could tell she was enjoying being my tour guide. It was funny. Yeah,
A
yeah.
lot of women like doing that. Like, you show up as a tourist someplace, you know, they like they like being a tour guide. They like teaching you the culture. I heard Kevin Samuels talk about this. He's like, women are the teachers of culture. So it's like, if women, especially in a country like that, where everything is equal and nobody's above each other, it's like, women like to teach the man, how things are, or from their perspective, how to behave themselves, or what mindset to have when you come over to this country. Now, when you are somebody that's lived there for quite some time, after a while, it's like you don't get the same treatment as you do, whereas like you're a tourist and when you first move there, because it's like nothing's new to you. You know better now, right? But uh me and my friend, we talk about this all the time, how it's like you get more cooperation being a tourist, by women, than you actually living there. You think by living there, it's kind of like, okay, I'm dedicated, I have my own spot, I have permanent residency, I'm good to be a long-term partner. But a lot of women, especially in these countries like that, they don't think like that. It's like, nah, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? So, um, you know, that's just a little bit of game right there. A lot of women, they like teaching men about the culture of their country. So yeah. So she's your tour guide. How long do y'all hang out for? Because then she got to get back to the studio.
So yeah, she said she had to get back for some meetings. Yeah, but she said that if she was able to, she would like to meet me later that week for a drink. So she would let me know when she was free, so that we could, meet in the evening time and get something to drink in a more, relaxed, quiet nighttime setting. So yeah.
Right. Do y'all end up meeting later on?
No, no, unfortunately, no. Her sister came into town, so I wasn't able to see her again. But we still follow each other on Instagram, so who knows?
That's what's up.
Yeah, you never know.
All right. So she gets back to work. What do you end up doing?
I end up just walking around, exploring. There's some good actually museums in Stockholm. If you guys are into museums, you should check out the Natural Historical Museum. That's in the Ostermalm neighborhood in Stockholm. So really nice museum if you want to learn more about Swedish culture, especially of the Vikings. There's a lot of Viking exhibits in that museum from that time period. Because in case you guys don't know, the Vikings were the ancestors of the Swedes. The Swedes are the descendants of the Vikings. The Swedes, the Danish, the Finnish, the Icelanders, the Norwegians, they all come from the Vikings. So there's a lot of Viking history in these museums if you want to learn something. I find that stuff to be pretty cool because I watched the show Vikings on the History Channel. So it was a good
Mhm.
show.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I was looking at a couple of museums over there. They look nice.
Yes.
Um, you go to the museum. Uh, One of the museums I came across, it was huge. So it's like I'm guessing these museums, it would take a couple of hours to actually thoroughly walk around and see everything.
Yeah, it depends on your speed, but yes, it can. Yeah.
Nice. So you go to a museum. After that, what do you end up doing?
So I end up going home, taking a shower, and meeting up with another Swedish chick to grab a drink. Yeah, not too far from my Airbnb. I usually try to like arrange to meet up in places like as close to my Airbnb as possible. Just so it's convenient for me, and also in case things go well. And she wants to see where I'm staying. You know what I'm saying? It's a little convenient if the place is not too far away. You know what I'm saying, Splash? I'll just leave it.
Right. Right. And plus, like the place you're staying is like one of the most affluent neighborhoods in the city anyway.
Hmm.
So they wouldn't mind hanging out over there anyway, because it's probably like, a lot more upscale than where it is that they're from, where they're staying at.
Precisely. Exactly. I'm glad you mentioned that, Splash. So, you guys, if you're looking for the best neighborhoods to stay in the city, just want to put that out there since we're talking about neighborhoods. Vastason, Norrmalm, Ostermalm, these are the richest neighborhoods in Stockholm. So, if you're staying there, whether it's a hotel or Airbnb, you'll be just fine. You'll be where the action is.
What?
Now, you can also stay in Gamla Stan. So Gamla Stan's a good area too because that's where all the tourist spots are, the gift shops and things like that. It is a bit noisy because there's tourists crawling everywhere. So if you want to get away from the noise, you should probably go to Norrmalm, Vasastan, or Ostermalm. Or you could stay in Sodermalm. Sodermalm is a more working class neighborhood, but it's a good neighborhood. There's a lot of good bars and clubs in Sodermalm as well. I think the most funnest bars and clubs we went to were in Sodermalm. So that's another neighborhood too. But just letting you know, the richest neighborhoods, the most affluent neighborhoods, Ostermalm, number one, Norrmalm, number two, Vasastan, number three. And then you have Gamlastan, you have Sodermalm. All right? So remember these five neighborhoods, guys, if you go to Stockholm.
Damn. He said soccer mom.
Hey, you're going to see a lot of those too. They love soccer in that country. They love soccer. Love soccer.
Yeah. So, guys, write those areas down so that when you book them on Airbnb, you can save them for later. Man, so you hang out with this other chick, and did she travel far to come see you?
No, she was coming from Sodermalm, so she just hopped on the train and just went up to see me in the neighborhood where I was staying because the bar where we met at, it was about maybe 7-8 minutes up the street. So yeah, I believe it was actually the Hard Rock Cafe. Yeah, it was the Hard Rock Cafe. They have a Hard
Oh
Rock,
wow.
2 or 3 Hard Rock cafes actually, I think, in Stockholm. Yeah, so we met over there, sat outside, got something to drink, just talking, chopping it up, and I got to learn more about Swedish culture and also how Swedish women feel about Swedish men because I was really curious about that.
What did she say about Swedish men?
So she said Swedish men basically, when it comes to dating is not really a big thing in Sweden. These Scandinavian countries in general, I noticed in Iceland, Norway, dating is not really a big thing. Dating in the American sense, where you want to meet up with a chick for the first time, you ask her out to a restaurant to get dinner, and you as the man are expected to pay. No, in Sweden it doesn't work that way because remember, they think men and women are equal, right? So the idea of a man paying for a woman on the first date, a man would laugh. A Swedish man would be like, "Ha! What? No, 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 no." Because in the Swedish mind, he thinks like this. He thinks like this, right? He said, "I'm equal to this woman. I'm a feminist. She's a feminist. Why should I pay for her dinner on a first date? Why should I pay for her coffee on a first date? Why should I pay for her drink on a first date? She's independent. She has a job. She should pay for herself." This is what the Swedish man thinks. So the concept of like a first date, having this fancy dinner. Now the third or the fourth date, maybe dinner. But the first date, nah, like that's a little too much pressure. Like Swedes would be like, "What? Dinner? What? Like, why don't we just go for a walk in the park or do an activity?" Because Swedes are very active. Remember, physical fitness is paramount in that country, right? So don't be looking like a slob when you go over there. But yeah, this is the way Swedish men think. You know what I mean? And oftentimes it makes Swedish men a little lazy when it comes to like going after Swedish women, because Swedish women, because they're very independent and because they're masculine, right? Because they think they're men, right? They think they're equal to men, which inherently means you have to be masculine if you want to be a man, equal, right? So a lot of Swedish women will approach men. This is pretty common over there. And so then
Mm.
Swedish men are like, okay, like, why do I have to go over there and approach those girls? Like, eventually they'll just come over here. I was like, why should I go over there? You know what I mean? They get used to all the beautiful women around them. They get used to the women paying for their own things, having their own careers, having their own jobs. 50-50 relationships. You find most Swedish relationships, man pitches in, women pitches in, collaborative effort together.
Mm.
Same level, same level. There's no man of the house. No, 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 no. If you want to bring that patriarchal, conservative structure, Swedish women is going to get turned off quick. They're going to be like, what? You man of the house? Ha! They're going to laugh at you and they're going to bounce. That's the quickest way to get ghosted by a Swedish chick.
But see, I'm not
charged. No.
But see, I'm not against that. Here's the thing. I like women who show 100% interest in a man. I like women that approach me because I know she's 100% interested. There's certain things I'm liberal about. There's certain things I'm more conservative and traditional. Is it everything? No. But the thing is, it's like, I'm all for it. Like, because when I was in Thailand, there was a lot of women like that. Well, you take them out and they're like, no, I could pay for my own, because they want to show you that, hey, I'm not, a broke, starving Thai person who's out for your money. Even though they might not have the money, they're just like, they might only make 15,000 baht per month. But when you go out to a restaurant and the bill comes and her portion was like 800 baht, that's a lot of money to be paying if you're only making 15,000 baht per month, which is like $450. So like a $20, $30 meal on a date, and then y'all might meet up tomorrow to do the same thing again, they'll still pay it to show you like, hey, don't look down on me like I'm poor and you have to take care of me. And you're not looking at them like that, but that's how they view it. So certain things, it's like, I like when, hey man, if you strong, independent, you don't need no man, then shit, if we hanging out, take care of your own shit then.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Because I don't know you like that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know if I like you like that. And shit, you might say something crazy to piss me off, to where it's like, damn, I regret even taking her out and spending my money on this chick like that. It's like, if things don't work out, it's really no loss. It's like, hey, all right, we aren't compatible, but I paid for my own, or she paid for the both of our meals, and it really was no loss to me. And there's other examples far beyond that. It sounds like Pookie would do great over in Sweden. It sounds like a pimp or Pookie would do great over there in Sweden.
I don't know, Splash, because I don't know if a Pookie would know how to dress over there. Because you know what I'm saying, Pookies usually like to go to Colombia. You know what I'm saying?
No. Pookies, they know. Pookies, they find a way to dress nice. Pookie, a Pookie will have on a name brand. They'll find a way. They'll get a booster or somebody to get name brand. They can't get a job, but they'll get name brand. They'll get dipped. You know what I'm saying? But man, a Pookie or a pimp over there in Sweden, the only thing that's holding them back is, them not being able to get a passport. That's why they not over there in Sweden. But, from what I'm hearing, there's some positives and some negatives over there, but there's some things that I like, as far as what I'm hearing about how you explaining, this culture that's over there. Is like, hey, I don't need to go over there. If she like me, if she want me, she need to come over here and talk to me. I'm not mad at that at all.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. But also, the Swedish women, I noticed one thing they complain about a lot is that because now Swedish men have gotten lazy in regards to, approaching and doing the romantic gestures, now women have to become more masculine. And inherently, a consequence of this is Swedish men become more timid, more shy, more soft spoken, more quiet,
Mm.
almost borderline effeminate. No disrespect to any Swedish guys who are listening to this. I'm simply just reiterating what Swedish women told me. Yeah, so this is one thing you hear a lot of Swedish girls complain about. But then when they talk about Americans, they say, oh, the Americans, they have confidence, they're more well spoken, they like to show the interest quicker and things like that. I remember one Swedish chick talked about she went to Miami and she was shocked as to how many guys just kept coming up to her because in Sweden that doesn't happen.
Mm.
Yeah, it's not a thing. It's really not a thing. And even like the first night, that Saturday night, when that Swedish chick said she preferred American guys, I didn't really understand what's the root cause of this. But then when you talk to more Swedish girls, you start to realize why. A lot of them, even though they're feminists, they still appreciate that masculine energy. That dominance that the man's gonna go up to them and assert like, hey, I'm interested, like, what's up? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but the Swedish men, they don't move like that. They don't move like that.
Hey man, this goes back to what I was saying earlier. Ladies, if y'all want things a certain way, you fight for things to be a certain way, you got to take what comes with it, good
Mm.
or bad. And, you know, because it sounds like to me, the way what these women are telling you is almost as if like they're proud, how equal the country is, the feminist, egalitarian state. But at the same time, they're complaining about how soft the men are.
Yes.
It's like it's the yin and the yang,
Right.
opposites attract.
Yeah, all these Scandinavian countries, it's the same thing. Iceland, Norway, especially. I was in Norway. Women were saying the same thing because the mindset, the culture, the society is all the same thing. They have this Swedish saying. It's a Scandinavian phrase called jantelagen. Okay, in English that means law of Jante, right? This Danish philosopher Axel Sandemos back in the 50s and the 60s, he wrote this Jantelagen, which in English means law of Jante. It's basically Scandinavian rules of life. And the Scandinavian rules of life go like this. You are not to think you're special. You're not to think you're better than anyone else. You're not to think you can teach better than anyone else. And you are not to show off or brag and feel like you are better. This is how these people think. So if you pull up there and you're bragging about how much money you make or what kind of cars you got, it's gonna turn the Swedish woman off. She's gonna ghost you, and then you're gonna be looking at your phone. Oh, what happened? Why is she not texting me back, bro? Don't brag. Don't show off. Don't be a showboat. They don't like that. They
See
don't.
what you just said right there. You just described Canadian culture to a T. It's the same thing. Like, you go to Canada, like it's so crazy now because I've traveled so much that I've kind of you take the good with the bad. It's like I've adopted certain cultures and customs from other countries, but then there's still you know, a mindset and ideology from America that I still hold on. There's swagger, how I carry myself. And there's still unwritten rules that I follow in America that sometimes like I'll switch out and be like, okay, I like this, that, and the third, but I like how they do things over here as well. And one of the things that I picked up is just, not really bragging anymore. I don't, when I was younger, and I didn't travel, I would show off a lot on social media. I really don't even post on social media. When I get new items or whatever, it's like I don't even post it. I don't even talk about it. And when I speak to women, the last thing I want to talk about is money. Because when I was in Canada, man, if you talked about money with women, like you said, it turns them off. It's disgusting. You can't show up with I remember the first time I showed up and in Canada, I had a big ass stupid chain. And I'm just like, after I learned the culture, I'm like, man, what am I doing? It's okay to have a chain. Like, I wear small pieces now, but I just had a big ass stupid rapper chain. And that's fine if you want to wear that, but I just like, man, why am I wasting this? Who am I impressing? Because they're not impressed by that.
Right.
They're impressed by the person. They're impressed by you, not, when you trying to send this message out, it's like you're trying to attract a certain crowd of women and a certain crowd of people. And deep down inside, that's not who I want to attract. So I wear jewelry, but it's just more classy jewelry. So yeah, after traveling, my conversations are different. My speech is different. The topics I talk about are different. The way I dress is different. And there's nothing wrong with how anybody wants to dress. But it's kind of like, certain things I just outgrew. And what you just said about Swedish women, it's the same thing in Canada. So yeah, I feel you. So it's like, if you guys can make it in Canada, or if you've been to Canada and you were able to communicate successfully and pick up women over in Canada, it sounds like you'll do great. As a matter of fact, you can actually wear nicer clothes in Sweden and in Canada. In Canada, you can literally wear sweats, a t-shirt. You can look like a bum every single day. If the women like you, they like you. You know what I'm saying? Such is not really the case in Sweden, because sometimes, I like to, if you buy something nice, I like people to appreciate it. It's not really appreciated like that in Canada or Asia, whereas like in Sweden, you got that Montclair coat, or that Burberry coat you've been wanting to wear, and you want to get noticed. Sounds like Sweden is a place where you can, dress dapper, and people will respect it, and they'll approach you and let you know what's on their minds. Correct.
Correct. Don't wear sweatpants and Tims out there, guys. If you wear sweatpants, you should be going to the gym. That's it. Because I'm telling you right now, they're not about that. I remember one Swedish chick, the Swedish chick who came to the crib. She even mentioned, she's like, yeah, when I see like the way that in America they wear the sweatpants everywhere to the store, it looks trashy. Like bomb. Yeah. A lot of these Swedish people, they dress very well, even to the store. I kid you not. People even dress professional to the grocery store. I couldn't believe it. I was like, yo, in America, it's like, nah, Timberland boots, especially in the East Coast, Boston, where I'm from, Timberland boots, sweatpants, sweatshirt, hoodie, like just chilling. Not over there.
Man, that sounds like Korea. Korea, I seen a guy wearing a suit washing his car in the wintertime.
Oh man, I don't think you'll see anything crazy like that in Sweden.
Yeah.
But you see people wearing suits to the club, yeah. But washing the car, I don't know about all that.
Yeah, I'm like, I had to say something. Like, damn, like, bro, why you got on a suit and you washing your car? He's like, I have to look good. I have to look good.
I mean, yeah, as men, we should look good. So he was all right. Yeah.
Yeah. So, hey, man, but I like buying certain clothing and feeling appreciated. Like, damn, somebody actually noticed. Because now, at one point in time, it used to be like that in America, where, man, if you had a little bit of money, you can afford a nice outfit, people would stop you in your tracks to tell you how good you look. But now with like Affirm, Sezzler, all these afterpay apps out there, like, man, it's like people can afford to look like a rapper now, or they can afford to look like a movie star now. They just make payments on it, So if they have $5,000 in credit, they can buy a $5,000 outfit and pay monthly payments on it in look just like whoever their favorite movie star is or their favorite entertainer is. So it's a different day and time. It like dropping money on a nice outfit doesn't have the same effect today as it once did back in the day. So I'm a little older than you. So man, I remember going to school, with like a suede jogger suit and just everybody stopping me, telling me how good I look. You show up with some shit like that today, even if it's in style, it's like, all right, whatever.
Mm. Yeah.
Yeah, how can I help you? Yeah, whatever. Like, so, but anyways, where were we? So
Drinks.
the drinks.
Mm.
You met up. Oh, all right. She came over to Vrastan, whatever that neighborhood is called.
No.
Vrastan.
No. This was the other chick. This other Swedish chick. We met for drinks at the bar, Hard Rock Cafe.
Oh, right, Hard Rock Cafe. Yes.
Yeah.
Now, was the food Hard Rock Cafe quality? Did they do their best?
We didn't eat the food. We just got.
Okay.
That's it. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm telling you, when you go out with these Swedish chicks, you don't always have to be eating dinner and stuff. It's not like that over there. Just coffee, drinks, hang out, talk, chill, casual, low pressure. This is how they prefer it. Yeah.
Damn. Yeah. I gotta remember. I gotta adjust my mind to the women over there. All right. So you get drinks, and y'all are talking.
Yeah.
What happens next?
Yeah. So we were talking. She told me a lot about her life story. She worked in business administration at a Swedish company, but she said there were actually a couple of Americans who were working there too. And she said she really enjoyed the Americans' company because the Americans are always like super friendly. The Swedish men are more like serious, you know what I mean? Don't really talk as much, but the Americans are always making small talk and things. So she really appreciated that sort of friendliness that she gets at her workplace from the Americans. And she was interesting because she traveled a lot, you know what I mean? She'd been all over the world. And she even told me she had been to the Dominican Republic. And at the time, like I was thinking about visiting Dominican Republic, but like I didn't actually make a plan. I wanted to do more research. And the more she talked about Dominican Republic, how she enjoyed it, her time there, actually, she was kind of the one that motivated me a little bit to go, believe it or not. Yeah, she really enjoyed the culture there. And it was funny, I posted a picture in the DR on Instagram, and because she follows me, she actually commented. I was like, oh my God, you went. I was like, I did, yeah. So shout out to her. Yeah.
Damn. All right. So y'all are conversating. Do you end up going back to your place, or do y'all go your separate ways?
No, we went our separate ways. But we did schedule to meet up again on the weekend, on later that week on Saturday. So I saw her again on Saturday, but
Okay,
this
nice.
Tuesday or Wednesday that I saw her. So still early in the week. Yeah, still plenty more to do. More
Nice.
people.
Nice. So we'll get back to Hard Rock Cafe girl later on. So you called a night. The next day, are we on day 4 now or day 5?
I believe this is day 4. This should be Wednesday or either Tuesday or Wednesday. This was months ago. I'm trying to remember, but I think I can retrace my steps. Splash. But yeah, this was Tuesday or Wednesday. So I actually scheduled to meet up with a Russian chick, actually. She was a Russian immigrant chick, originally from Russia, born and raised, but was living in Sweden and was there working and stuff like that. And yeah, we met up for coffee. She's a sweet girl, you know. It was interesting because, you know, Russian women, they can be a bit cold, a bit soft spoken, but they're very feminine, you know, very conservative, very traditional minded. And it was interesting because I was asking her, like, okay, so like Swedish culture is very different from where you come from in Russia. So, like, do you like living here more or living in Russia? She said, oh, here. I was like, well, why do you like living here in Sweden? He's like, because here is more freedom and people are able to express themselves more. In Russia, you don't really have freedom to express yourself. There's no freedom of speech. You can't really say anything negative about the government. or else you're gonna end up with the police knocking on your door. In Sweden, you know, you can criticize the government, you can criticize this and that. You know, it's nothing crazy. You know what I mean? So she appreciates how in Sweden there's more freedoms that she just didn't have in Russia. Yeah, Russia's a whole different ball game.
Yeah, it is. Most of the Russian males I've met throughout my life, the, there's similarities. I'll say that there's similarities. The women, I met a few Russian women as well,
Yeah,
but
you didn't care for them.
nah. I mean, if I see somebody that's fine, I guess I just haven't ran into the fine ones just yet.
I guess not. Maybe in Sweden you will.
Maybe. So you meet up with her. Where do y'all meet up again?
We met up. This was near the downtown area, like near the shopping center. There was a small little cafe close to the shopping center where all the department stores were. This is close to downtown Stockholm. So we just met up there, you know, had some coffee. We talked. Yeah, she actually didn't drink anything or eat. She just sat there. We just talked. Yeah, she didn't even order anything. Yeah, we just sat there and talked the whole time.
Oh, okay, nice.
Yeah, yeah. It was a good conversation. It was interesting to get a perspective of another immigrant who's from like Russia versus the Swedish chicks that I had met earlier in the week. Yeah, it definitely can open your mind and understand like, okay, like this is like a very multicultural place. You know what I mean?
Right. So with these women, um, you know, we're talking about, you know, egalitarian culture. I mean, does it, you know, are they pushing it that hard so you can't even open the door for them? Or, you know, do they feel a certain way if you open the door for a woman? Like, here, let me get that for you.
You know, deep down, I think they wish their men did it more. I honestly
Wow.
think so because I'm telling you, when I was in Norway, like girls were always talking about how they wish men would pay for the first date. They wish men would do what they see in the American movies because these people watch American shows. They watch American movies, and what do they see in these shows and these movies? American men bringing flowers, opening doors, opening car doors, putting the coat over the woman in the scene, you know, when she's cold outside and it's, you know, snowing and stuff like that. They see this and they look at their own men and their men are like, nah, we're not doing that shit. And
Mm,
it makes them feel like, oh my God, like what the hell? And then I understand now why even these Russian chicks, super conservative, traditional, they even said like, even though they live in a feminist egalitarian country like Sweden, they still want men to be men. They're not really into the 50-50 stuff. They're really not. And even I met a Ukrainian girl later in the week. We'll get to that, of course, later. She said the same thing. So it's interesting how these chicks from like traditional conservative backgrounds, they go to a really liberal, progressive country and they still want the same thing that they were taught at a young age to want. Very interesting.
yeah, that is interesting.
Mm.
That is interesting. So, damn. So, not only, you know, you go there as you are, you bring a little bit of that culture over there, and shit, it's like you damn near at the top of the food chain in the dating market over there, you know? So you're talking to this Russian woman. She's telling you about how things are back home. Uh, you said you ended up meeting her later on in the week, or you didn't see her ever again after that?
I didn't see her ever again after that, but there was another Russian chick that I did meet up with twice when I was there.
Oh,
Yeah, so there were two Russian chicks. Russian chick number one, which I saw once, didn't see again, but we still keep in touch. She said Happy New Year to me, so shout out to her. Then we have Russian girl number two. Yes, Russian girl number two. Yes,
now
yes.
Russian girl number two. Did you meet up with her that same day or a different day?
No, no, the following day. The following.
Okay, the following day.
That would have been funny though if I.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh
Yeah, you got like a little calendar, like, hey, let me knock out this entire country in one day. Let me
Shout out
get
to
rid of
Putin.
all the Russians today. Let me get
Yes.
them out the way.
Yeah, we're gonna do it for the motherland, Mother Russia. Yeah.
Yeah.
That would have been crazy. Oh my God.
All right, so you meet up with y'all, go y'all separate ways.
Mhm.
What do you do after that?
So after that, actually, the Swedish chick earlier that week with the broken foot, she
Yeah.
wanted to see me again. So she said, okay, like, why don't I come back to your place again? We're gonna make some drinks again. And so I was like, okay, no problem. Come through, come through. So, me being the gentleman that I am, I go to the liquor store, I buy some drinks, I have everything ready in the kitchen. She comes over with her broken foot, hobbling up the steps. She
Hey,
goes to the kitchen, she puts the crutches to the side, and she's making the drinks, mixing the drinks. And I'm just sitting back, just
you know what? If that chick hit me up again, like if I was in that situation and a chick with the broken foot hit me up again, like, hey, I want to see you again. Let me make drink. I'd be like, hey, baby girl, listen, I know your foot is broken, but your mouth is working. All right. So if you're gonna come back, like you're gonna have to put your mouth to work. I know your foot is out of order.
oh, she put her mouth to work all right.
Oh damn. Oh, hold on. I'm moving too fast. My bad. I'm ruining the movie.
Her foot was broken, but she put that mouth to work.
Oh no! Oh yeah! Oh no!
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned her mouth, Splash. It's just funny.
Oh damn! All right, all right. She comes over to make drinks.
Yeah,
You know, you do. Did you help her up the stairs again, or did she want to go up the stairs herself?
she wanted to go up the stairs herself, and me, Splash, being the gentleman I am, a woman says she wants to do it herself. I let her.
Yeah, go ahead and struggle up the steps.
Yeah, I mean,
Right,
hey, she knew the steps were there. She knew.
right, right. Now, if she fall, you know, you better get some help.
Facts, facts. Yes, yes.
Help yourself.
Mm.
All right. So she hopped up the steps, makes drinks,
Mm-hmm.
and things kind of lead from one thing to another. How does it get to that level? Like what are y'all talking about to where it leads to that level? What happened?
So basically, we talked a lot about our personal lives, and she mentioned more details of her personal life. Now, as sweet as this Swedish girl was, she was clearly for the streets. I knew that for a fact. She was for the streets because multiple things she mentioned about her life reflected that she was for the streets. First and foremost, she mentioned that she went to South America for 6 months traveling with her friends, her girlfriends, for 6 months in South America. She was in Argentina, she was in Bolivia, she was in Peru, she was in Colombia, she was in Brazil, she was in Paraguay, she was in Uruguay. She was all over South America for almost 6 months. Now, Splash, if a girl tells you that she traveled to South America for 6 months with her girlfriends, what's the first thing that's going to come in your mind?
I don't know. Some dude from the favela was bending over, digging out. Yeah. Yeah, she was up in them favelas, you know, getting worked on.
Yeah. That's facts. Like, bro, Splash, bro. See, men, we think very similar. We might have our differences, but we think very similar, regardless of what society likes to say. We think very similar. Yeah, man. So she told me that, and I'm just like, oh boy, this is a red flag if I was trying to wife up this chick, which I wasn't, of course. And then she also admits to me that she studied abroad in Spain for a little bit, in Barcelona. And then she mentions that she had a sugar daddy in Barcelona, a Spanish rich sugar daddy in Barcelona. Splash, when you hear this, what are you thinking in your mind?
Well, I mean, if I hear about a woman had a sugar daddy, then she's probably attractive, right? She's attractive. But if you got a sugar daddy and he's not your sugar daddy anymore, something where it's kind of like you either got older and he got tired of you and he's like, all right, let me get a new chick, or you fucked that up somehow. So
Mm,
you really ain't fit to be with nobody. You
mm,
fit to just be uh you just a turnstile,
mm,
a rotating door where I go in, I go through the door, I go in a mouth,
mm,
and then I get out and I go back the other way out the other door on the
mm.
other side. That's what it seems like.
Yes.
It's so
Precisely, Splash. You read my mind. Literally, you read everything you said. This is what was going through my mind when she's telling me this. But when you talk to these Swedish chicks, Splash, you're gonna hear this stuff a lot. Saying this stuff is normal to them. There's no shame in it. There's no shame in it because you can't, as a man, you can't go over there and slut shame those women because they'll tell you, "Oh, you're a misogynist. You're a patriarchist." Blah 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 blah. You can't say anything against it. You just have to let them speak their mind. And the more they speak their mind, the more they'll expose themselves. And then, of course, those women serve their purpose.
right. And it's funny you say that. It's the same thing in Canada. That's how it is in Canada. You can't really slut shame them.
Mm,
When I went to Regina, Saskatchewan, I mean, you heard women doing some of the most egregious shit, and they weren't ashamed of it. And all the women knew about these women. Like, hey, yeah, that chick, she's so freaky, she can open up a college and teach the entire city how to blow at that university. She'd be the dean at Blow University. And
mm,
I'm like, damn, right? But when I was growing up, uh, a hoe got ran out the school. Other girls were running up out the school because it's like they got boyfriends at the school, and if you that chick in the bathroom, letting guys, there's a cheese line out the bathroom where guys are trying to run a train on you, or you known for just sucking everybody off. Women didn't like that because eventually their boyfriends would want some of that also. So they would jump girls like that every day until eventually their parents would have to pull them out to school.
mm.
So, but now, I mean, it's a totally, different day, different time. And I can handle a woman. I can handle hearing that stuff because I dealt with it in Canada. Nothing really shocks me no more. So by her saying that, it's crazy because it's like, all right, since you talking like this, then now, hey, I gotta treat you a certain way. I can't look at you a certain way. But then
Mm,
they get mad when they want a man to be a man. And it's kind of like, I can't do male duties. I gotta do I gotta treat you like a savage now
mm,
because it's nothing but savagery coming out your mouth. Savagery going in your mouth because savagery is coming out your mouth. So now if you want me to be a man and to pay for things and do more traditional shit, you got to be a traditional lady.
mhm.
That's just how the world works. You can't have everything that you want. And that's the problem with women. They want everything. And that's not how it goes. So, but yeah, if a woman told me that, I'm like, all right, man, it's go time.
That's facts. That's what I was thinking. I'm like, oh, Sam, this is go time, baby. Yeah, because Splash, when she was saying this stuff, this is what I was thinking, right? And you hit the hammer on the nail when you said it before. These women, they think they can have everything, but there comes to a certain point where they just can't. And even in our conversation, we actually talked about this, me and this Swedish chick, because like I was telling her, like, hey, you're young, you're in college or university, you're ambitious, you're single. What kind of guy do you want eventually? And she said, I want a guy who treats me like a princess. I was like, oh, okay. So then does that mean that if he treats you like a princess, you'll treat him like a prince? She said, no. I
Oh,
said, wait, what? Like literally, I kind of snapped at her, like, hold up. I had to push back, Splash. I had to push back. I was like, wait a minute. You just told me that you want a man who treats you like a princess. And then when I asked you, will you treat him like a prince? You said no. But you're a feminist. So how is that equal? If it's equal, shouldn't you treat him like a prince and he treats you like a princess? And you guys are in that equal relationship? And she couldn't give me a straight answer, Splash. She couldn't. She was just kind of, but. I was like, gotcha, bitch.
mm, yeah. a lot of times when women talk, they don't really think before they say the words that come out of their mouth because it's too easy to debunk a lot of their shit. Even you would think like this is easiest to do to younger women, but it's just as easy to do to older women. You know what I'm saying? Older, more like you know better, right? You see a woman in her 50s and 60s, like you know better than to be talking the same shit that a little girl is talking, right? Having the same talking points, but it's just as easy to debunk the older women as it is to the younger women. And you know, it's they don't think before they talk, and it's kind of like, hey, look, instead of just coming down on women, I'm like, hey, look, man, y'all could do whatever y'all want to do, right? I'm all for it. You want to be a feminist, you want to be treated like a princess and not treat a man like a prince, fine. I hope you find what it is that you're looking for. But you got to take the good with the bad, right? You want to eat a bunch of candy and a bunch of junk food and be fulfilled. You got to take the good with the bad. Yes, your taste buds taste good. You know them endorphins are releasing every time you eat this food. But what comes with that? Diabetes, cancer, heart disease, liver disease, you know, just diseases. So you can't get mad and blame society for the choices that you made. You made the choice to have that mindset. And guess what, man? You know, everybody's not going to go along with what it is that you want. You know, every action has a reaction, right? It's energy, give and take. So, you know, doesn't sound like teamwork at all, but if that's not what you want, you just want to slut it up your whole life, then hey, it is what it is, you know, fine. But, you know, she showed her skills later on after that, right?
Yeah, she showed her true colors, Splash. And you know, I in my head I was like, I'm not going to stereotype every Swedish chick and feel like they're all super sexually liberated. I'm not going to do that. But the more she spoke, Splash, when you hear these words, when you hear these words that I told you was coming out of her mouth, what do you expect is going to come in my mind? What do you expect?
Shit, for me, I'd be like, it seems like you're ready.
Yeah, it seems like you're ready. Yeah, so you know the conversation is continuing on. You know, we're having a good conversation. She's exposing herself more and more, and I'm starting to really see how most women who are Swedish how they think. And you know, maybe it was the alcohol, maybe it was just her being herself, but it really showed me how these women truly think, especially women who are young like her, especially. So the conversation continuing, you know, we're drinking. And of course, me, I'm taking slow sips because I'm not a crazy drinker, right? But she's taking the big gulps because these Swedes, they love to drink. They love to drink. I'm telling you, like they'll give Germans a run for their money. When it comes to Europeans, these Brits, these Germans, these Swedes, they drink like crazy. I don't know how they stay in shape and drink so much, but I think it's the reason why they're always working out and exercise because they're like, oh, well, we need to keep this alcoholic intake down so we can stay in shape.
Right.
Yeah, man, they love to drink. You're gonna notice that, and they smoke a lot of cigarettes too.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, these European girls, man, whether it's Portugal, Norway, Sweden, the UK, France, oh man, Spain, bro, they smoke a lot, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just warning you guys, when you go to Europe, you're gonna see girls smoking a lot, just so you know. Yeah, be ready. Yeah. Not everyone smokes, obviously, but yeah, you're gonna see it a lot.
All right, so one thing led to another.
Yeah, one thing to another. Like she's taking the big gulps. I'm just slow sip. And then you know she's like, "Oh, you know, you still have so much alcohol in your cup. Like, why aren't you drinking more?" It's like, you know, girl, chill. I'm just in the moment. I'm enjoying your company. You know, I'm taking my time. And she's like, "No, you need to chug the drink, chug." In
Oh,
Sweden,
damn.
we drink like so quickly, but you only had one drink. I'm like, girl, relax. Okay, I'll chug. But like, what do I get out of just chugging the drink? Like, come on. And she's like, okay, but if you chug, I'll give you a kiss. I was like, oh, okay. And then,
Oh, damn.
I was like,
Yeah, put it in your throat.
and I closed it. I was like, all right. I chugged it. All right, come on. A deal's a deal. And she gets up and she walks right toward me and she gets up in there and she works her mouth in more ways than one. And that's all I'm going to say for your imagination, Splash, and the audience.
Damn. Damn. So
She
it was
put her
just
mouth,
it was just mouth action, or was there penetration?
mouth, and more mouth.
Oh, okay. All
Mouth,
right.
mouth.
I mean,
And
that's good enough.
yeah. I'll let the audience decide when I say mouth, and more mouth. I'll let the audience decide,
She might have done you a favor. It's like, hey, no, that she might have done you a favor. If you would have had I had. It's like, it's backed up down there. There's 50 people down there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That ain't the cleanest. If the mouth is cleaner, damn.
Yeah. As long as I'm serviced, I'm good.
Right.
Yeah, as long as I'm serviced, I'm good. Everything's good. Ready to go. Yeah.
Right. All right. So mouth action. Did she stay the night? Did she leave?
No, she left because she had school the next morning. So
oh, damn.
Yeah, we do, what she did. mouth, and more ways than one. I'll leave it to the audience imagination to decipher that. So we go out, we go to the train. I walk into the train. Yeah, she's like, oh, okay, like just hugging me, wouldn't let go of me. I'm like, girl, okay, all right, good night. All right, now hobble your cripple ass onto the train. Go. And she goes hobbling onto the train.
Oh, damn.
I was like, man, if these people knew what she just did right now in my Airbnb, like I wonder, like this innocent Swedish girl just on crutches. I'm like, do these people even know what she just did?
A helping handicap hole. She go to school the next day. She go to school the next day in her study group, like, hey, what did y'all do last night? Oh man, I had to study. We got this big exam today. We got to work on this project, working on this. Man, I studied all night for this exam. Hey, what did you do? Oh man, I went over to a black guy's Airbnb, made drinks, sucked dick, and went back home.
I'm like,
oh damn, you didn't study at all? Nah, I ain't study for this shit.
Oh my goodness. Oh man. Yeah. No. I mean, as much as for the streets as that girl was, she was really a sweetheart, and she's young. I'm sure eventually she'll learn and that nonsense will leave her brain.
Right. So she leaves, you call it a night?
Yeah, we just called it a night. I go back to my review. I'm like, whoa, damn, today's been an interesting day. Yeah, I just called it a night. Yeah, woke up, went to the gym the next morning. Yeah, got that workout in. Shout out to Sats Gym. Guys, if you like to work out in the gym, you're in Stockholm, look up Sats Gym. They got Sats Gym locations all over the city. It's a really good gym, guys. Trust me. You won't be disappointed if you go there. Really good gym. Got my workout in, got the exercise, went back to the Airbnb, took a shower, then met up with Russian girl number 2, where we met up and get some coffee and some tea.
You met up with Russian girl number 2. She showed like, hey, you smell like mouth.
Oh, man, yeah.
You had a good night last night. You smell like mouth.
Yeah, it was a good night. It was definitely a good night. But yeah, no, the Russian girl number 2 was cool, like very chill. She was very down to earth. Yeah. So, we talked a little bit about, her life story, my life story. And yeah, she told me actually she used to be married. She came to Sweden with her husband who the Russian dude at the time, and then they got divorced. You know what I mean? And basically, she didn't have anywhere to live because she couldn't stay with him because they were splitting up. So actually, one of her friends in Stockholm gave her a place to stay, let her crash with her until she figured things out. And she said that that was one of like the hardest moments in her life because her marriage broke. She was in a new country. She had to learn Swedish, new language. She said it was a really painful moment in her life, but now she speaks Swedish better. She's single. She's more happy. She's working, in modeling and things like that, and she enjoys her job. And she says now things are much better. She's at a better place in her life. But she said, yeah, back when she was getting divorced, she said that was like a low moment in her life. But yeah, divorce is never easy. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. She didn't have any children though, which I thought was interesting. I was like, oh, okay. Yeah. So, but yeah, she had been married. Now she's single, living in Stockholm. Yeah. She said she really enjoyed Sweden overall. The culture is different, as the Russian girl number one had said, but she appreciates the more freedoms here and how people can really express themselves. Because again, in Russia, you don't have these freedoms. Because remember, Sweden, very progressive, very liberal. Russia, very conservative. A man's a man, a woman is a woman. That's it. So anything like this uh, rainbow community lifestyle, I'm keeping it coded splash, but I think you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, that does not fly in Russia. It's very dangerous to be a member of that community over there. But in Sweden, oh, they're liberal, progressive. Everything's okay. Yeah.
Damn. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Very
So did this Russian woman, did she look better than the other one, or which one looked better? Woman number one or Russian woman number two?
honestly, that was tough because I would give them both like a 6.9. But yeah, because they both look really good. Like they were a bit taller, like close to my height, about 5'10, a little bit, almost 5'11. Um, they both were into modeling and things like that. They look really smashable. I would give them both a 6.9, to be honest. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they both look really good. Yeah, they both look really good. The only reason I couldn't see Russian girl number one is because our schedules weren't really working out because she had to work and stuff like that. And of course, me, I had other chicks lined up. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. Yeah, can't put all your eggs in one basket. Okay.
Right, right.
So, I didn't get to see Russian chick number one, but I saw Russian chick number two that day. We got lunch, we talked, we walked around. She showed me that part of the city. She helped me actually take some pictures, some videos. I actually shared them in the Facebook group, guys. So, again, please join Splash's Facebook group if you want to see these pictures and videos that I posted. Okay, they're in there. She helped me take them. So,
There's some nice pictures.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So it was nice. She showed me around and she said, yeah, well, I really like to see you again. Like, when can I see you? I was like, well, I think I might be free. And I'm like, I don't think shit. When am I? This weekend, Saturday. Yeah, let's meet up Saturday. So, yeah. So we said our goodbyes and then I went back to the Airbnb, took a shower, and yeah, just prepared myself just to link up with my boy. And yeah, we just hung out, got some food, dinner, and just talked about how Sweden was going. He really liked that country. He said that compared to Colombia, where he was before, the month before where he traveled, Sweden
Mm-hmm.
was just peaceful. That's the word he used, like just peaceful. Like you walking outside, everything's calm, cool. Like everyone's polite, respectful, just peaceful.
I was about to ask you that. It's funny you mentioned. I was about to ask, like, what was his experience like? Because it's not like both y'all are meeting up every day. He has his own list of women that he's meeting up with as well. How were things going for him?
So he wasn't really meeting up with chicks. He was just kind of doing, the touristy stuff, walking around, talking to people on the street, exploring the city, just getting to know how things were over there. That's the way Bishoy is. Bishoy is a very personable person. He has no issues going up to women or going up to people and talking, communicating himself. So he's a really good wingman. So I was really glad he came with me.
Nice. He didn't meet up with one woman?
On his own, no. That's
Oh, he only met up with women with you.
yeah, just with me. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So, all right, y'all hang out, get something to eat, kick it. Y'all call it a night, or y'all go out that night, or do you meet up with another woman? What happens?
So that night, no, I don't think I met up with any other women that night. I think we just called it a night. That was it. Yeah. And then the next day, I met up with who did I meet up? Oh, a Ukrainian chick. The next day, I met up with a Ukrainian chick. I thought that was really ironic. I was like, oh, two Russian girls, one Ukrainian chick in 1 week. This is a weird coincidence, especially with everything that's going on with the war. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Yeah. I was like, this is kind of weird.
right,
Mm,
right. So you meet up with the Ukrainian chick.
yes.
Who did you enjoy spending time with more, the Ukrainian chick or the Russian women?
The Ukrainian chick.
Okay. What
Yeah.
what 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 was the difference between the Russian women and the Ukrainian woman?
The Russian women, as most Russian women are, they're a bit cold when you first talk to them. They're a bit reserved, of course, which I think goes back to their culture. You know, Russia, cold climate, harsh weather. Naturally, it draws them in. But Ukrainian women, they can also be cold too, because it's another cold Eastern European country. But this girl, she was like, when she spoke, when she would walk up, you could tell this girl was like bubbly. She had a very expressionable personality. She was very like optimistic. You could even see it, excuse me, in her eyes when she would talk to you. Like this girl had big dreams. She was a singer. She wanted to sing professionally. She was actually working on music, and she was telling me about her experience singing in Ukraine, but because of the war she had to leave and come to Sweden with her family, and she's pursuing music in Sweden and trying to get signed to a label and do all these things. And you could tell how excited she was to talk about it. And she was asking me so many questions like, oh, so tell me about how is life in America? Like, how is work? And I see that you work in this industry. Please tell me. I would like to know. I haven't met many Americans. So you could tell she was very excited to see me. And so, that really gave an impression on me.
Nice, nice. Man, we all like that.
Yes, don't get me wrong. The Russian girls were cool. The Russian girls were super cool. They were dope. We still talk to them and everything. But this Ukrainian chick, not only did she look better than those two Russian chicks, those Russian chicks were good looking, but this Ukrainian chick looked way better. She looked way better. Yeah.
Damn.
Yes. I can show you pictures too, Splash. I'm telling you, she was not ugly.
Yeah, send them to me then.
Yes, sir.
After this.
Yes.
All right, so y'all talking, really getting to know her, breath of fresh air, you know, more bubblier personality, and y'all hanging out. Does the day end, or do things move to the next level?
Yeah, the day ends. She had commitments with her family, she said, because she had her relatives, actually, her Ukrainian relatives who came from another country. They were in town. So I was like, oh, wow. Well, yeah, of course. Do your thing, girl. Like, I got other business arrangements, so it's all good. Yeah. But
She harboring fugitives from the war, huh?
could be. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
They over there. No, I'm just playing.
Yeah, but she was a sweetheart. Yeah, she was really a sweet girl. Yeah.
Man. All right, so y'all don't meet. Y'all don't see each other again that week, do you?
No, we couldn't. Yeah, she had commitments with the family, which I respect.
All right, so y'all go your separate ways. And do you go out that night, or do you meet up with somebody else?
Yes, meet up with the Swedish girl from Hard Rock Cafe earlier in the week.
Okay,
yeah.
her again.
Her again. Yes.
Her again. So how did that go?
It was good. Yeah. We chilled. We hung out. We were just getting something to drink. And, it was a good conversation, but nothing happened after that. We were just hanging out. But yeah, that was it. That was the end of the night. But yeah, nothing crazy happened. So I went back to my Airbnb. It was quite a long day. Did a lot of walking. I was tired. So I just fell asleep, called it a night. So yeah, that was it. Yeah.
Okay. How many more days you got left after this day?
Now we're coming on to Friday. Yeah. So this next day, which I'm about to get into, was Friday. Yeah.
Okay, what happened on Friday?
So Friday, what happened was in the morning, I met up with that Russian chick again, Russian chick number two.
Mm.
So we met up again, got something to eat, we're just talking, walking around, doing the stuff, conversating, blah, 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 getting to know each other, getting more comfortable, blah, 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 all this stuff. And then, we go our separate ways, and that was it, right? So then she goes, and then evening comes in. I link up with my boy. We're going around. There's actually a Swedish Army museum in Stockholm that if you guys want to learn more history about Sweden, you should definitely go there. The Swedish Army Museum. They have some really interesting monuments there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so definitely check it out, guys, if you get an opportunity. It's a good museum.
Okay. So y'all hanging out, doing the museum thing again.
Mhm.
Well, and the day ends and y'all go y'all separate ways.
No, so we actually went to the neighborhood called Gamlastan. So you guys, Gamlastan is a neighborhood where a lot of the gift shops are and like the tourist attractions are, like places to take pictures, the monuments, even the Parliament building, because Sweden has a parliament. The Parliament building is in Gamlastan. Also, the Royal Palace, one of the royal palaces from the royal family, because Sweden has a king and queen. One of those buildings is also in Gamlastan. And also they have a main palace in Ostermalm as well. So if you guys go to Gamlastan, you can definitely check these places out. Very cool places to take pictures and buy souvenirs if you guys want to do that.
Okay, nice. Then where did that come from?
Yeah, I was like, where that? I don't know. That wasn't me. I didn't touch anything.
I didn't touch anything either.
Did someone like the video? I don't know.
I don't know. Somebody hacking this shit.
Uh-oh.
I mean, but it ain't. They didn't hack it in a negative way. The motherfuckers use their hacking skills to put a thumbs up.
Yeah, that was weird. I've never seen that before, Splash.
Yeah. Oh man, this getting trippy right now.
It is, yeah.
All right, so you do the touristy thing with the Russian woman number two. Seems like she's opening up a little bit more now.
She is, yeah. She was much more open now. Yeah. Russians typically are very reserved, but once you get to really know them, they open up. But they're very conservative too. You know what I mean? When it comes to dealing with men, even on a first date, they don't really even hug each other.
Mm.
Yeah, that's not a thing. Ukrainians, same thing. I think it's an Eastern European thing, like Russians, Ukrainians, Belarusians, Romanians. Yeah, I think it's very similar with men women interactions. First date, don't expect hugs and kisses like that.
Yeah, it's similar from people, that come from countries where grenades are thrown in their front yard and RPGs are being shot over their homes. Yeah. War-torn countries is just cold.
Yeah.
But anyways, all right. So the second day or the second time y'all meet up, she's opening up more.
Yes, she's opening up more. But of course, I couldn't, get her back to the crib. So I said, all right, no pressure, girl. We'll keep in touch, hugged her, said goodbye. And then actually later that evening, I met up with a Polish chick, a girl from Poland.
Okay, Poland.
Yes,
All
Poland.
right.
Yes,
Now, was she bubbly or was she cold?
She was very bubbly. Like, man, I knew kind of how Polish women were because I met actually a Polish chick in Boston here a couple years ago, and she was a real sweetheart girl. It didn't work out between us, but Polish women, very feminine, very cooperative, and they really like black guys.
Yeah, I heard about that on YouTube or on Twitter. I guess somebody put the word out there for black men to travel to Poland because a lot of them are feeling brothers. And
Yeah.
I guess the Caucasian sector of Passport Bros was like were angry about that on Twitter the other day.
Mm,
It was putting out a whole bunch of racial epithets behind that.
mm.
Like, hey, now brothers are gonna ruin Poland and this, that, and the third. So yeah, I've been hearing that they dig brothers out there in Poland.
Yes, they do. They really do. So yeah, this Polish chick, I was very interested to meet her and see how she was. And man, when she saw me, she got off the train. She's like, "Hello, my friend," like just hugging me. And we sat down in the coffee shop, got some coffee, just talking. She was telling me about her life and how she immigrated from Poland to Sweden, looking for better opportunities. And she was working as a chef actually in a restaurant. And she said she really enjoyed her job and her coworkers and how lovely it was. But she said that she noticed the cultural differences between Poland and Sweden, because Poland, for those of you who don't know, Poland's a pretty conservative country. They're very traditional. Yeah, they're very open and warm-hearted, but also they're very traditional. It's a very Catholic Christian country. So oftentimes, compared to like a country like Sweden, which is more progressive and liberal, there are some cultural rifts that just don't align. And she even talked about this, especially with how sexually liberated the girls are in Sweden. She says it's a bit too much, in her opinion. She feels like it's gone way too far, to the point where girls, they don't even realize what they're getting into, because they're taught from a young age that they can do whatever they want, that they're independent, they can think for themselves, they can be whoever they want. Don't let a man tell you otherwise. But for her, because she grew up in a very Catholic, Christian, Polish traditional family, she doesn't feel like this is a good mindset for young women. She feels like young women should have another option, something that can preserve them, and not to be used by men. That's what she said.
Mm,
Yeah. She had a good head on her shoulders, this woman. Yeah.
mm. Interesting. So even though people migrate over there, they don't all adopt this, the culture.
No.
Even though it's a little different in America. It seems like when you step foot on that American soil, it's like everybody adopts, the culture over here in America. Whereas like over there, some people just, stick to their own values from their home country. That's interesting.
Yeah. And she also said Swedish society is very cookie cutter almost, where like everyone's like clones. Like the women, they all dress the same, blonde hair with the blue eyes, and they all dress like the very sophisticated, very upscale, like they're walking on a runway fashion show. And she says sometimes she feels like, in a way, Swedes are afraid to be themselves. They feel like they have to fit in, because it goes back to what I said before about the Scandinavian rules of life. Part of the Scandinavian rules of life is you're not supposed to stand out. So in order to not stand out, you have to fit in and do just like everyone else. You have to dress like everyone else. You have to act like everyone else. You have to be like everyone else. You cannot be too loud. Anyone who acts loud, who acts ratchet, who makes a scene, who acts like a Karen in public, that's like social deletion in Sweden. Social deletion. You're not supposed to make a fool of yourself. If you stand out, if you make a fool of yourself, the whole of the Swedish society, both women and men, will give you a look of like pure, utter disgust.
Mm.
Yeah. So the things you see in America that go viral on World Star, you will never see that in Sweden. Never. People don't want to draw attention to themselves in any way, shape, or form, ever.
Man, I wish we had that mindset over here.
I wish to. I really do.
All right, so y'all hang out. You're learning a lot from her. Like you said, good head on her shoulders.
Very good head on her shoulder. She definitely showed like wifey material qualities. Just by
Mm,
speaking to her, you could really tell this woman, if she had a daughter, which she didn't have any kids, she'd be a very good mother. Very good mother.
mm.
Yeah.
So after y'all hang out, you go your separate ways.
Yeah. We went our separate ways, called it a night. I linked up with my boy Bashoy, We went out, just trying to get in some trouble, find some places to go. So we finally got to explore the nightlife in Sodermalm. So originally the weekend before we were in Ulstermalm, but now we were in Sodermalm neighborhood. So we got to explore the neighborhood, try to figure out what bars and clubs to go to. So we just literally took an Uber from our Airbnb to over to Sodermalm, not too far away. Everything's very close together in Stockholm. You're not gonna have to Uber super far for anything really. It's a very walkable city. Just depends where you're trying to go. So yeah, it was a good night. It was fun. Yeah, met a lot of interesting people.
You exchange any contact information?
Yeah, exchanges of Instagrams here and there, stuff like that. WhatsApp is pretty big out there too. So if you guys download WhatsApp, a lot of people use WhatsApp. People use Instagram. People use Snapchat too. If any of you guys use Snapchat, you can use that to connect with ladies as well. But yeah, no, it was a fun time. Yeah, there's a nightclub in Sodermalm called Sodra Theater. Definitely go there.
Soldier Theater.
Sodra Theater. Yeah, very good nightclub. Yeah, it was popping. Yeah.
Dress code?
I would come there. I would say maybe try like not business casual, but like maybe upscale, but don't force it. You don't have to wear a suit or anything like that, but just come correct, like look well groomed, dress
Oh,
well.
okay.
Yeah, dress well groomed. Yeah, Soldier Theater. Yeah.
Now, was that the last night or was the next night the last night?
The next night was the last night. Yeah, the next night was the last night. But like it was cool though, because that Friday night, like we were meeting a lot of cool, interesting people. Yeah, actually, we were walking outside and we saw this group of bad Swedish girls. It was like three or four of them sitting at a table outside. And me and Bashir, we looked at each other like, bro, all right, are we gonna go up to those girls? He said, yeah, let's do it. So we went straight towards them. Be like, oh, excuse me, ladies, quick question. Are you girls from Stockholm? Like, yeah, we're from Stockholm. And so we're just chopping it up. That's how we slid in, started the conversation, asking them, oh, where should we go? It's Friday night. Like, what's the move? Like, you guys got any suggestions? And they were like, oh, yeah, you can go here or there, blah, 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 blah. And, we're talking, we chop it up. And then the girls were like, oh, you guys, you're still standing here. Sit down, come, sit. And we're just like, oh, shit, okay. So yeah, me and Bashar, we look at each other like, all right. So we sit down with the girls and we're sitting at the table together. We're chopping it up. Yeah, just talking. And they're asking us, oh, where are you from? Like, you're from America? Like, oh, wow, and all this stuff. And so, yeah, the conversation ended and they went their separate ways. We went our separate ways. So we're still looking for places to get into trouble. So you know what I mean? So we were going to different bars, different places here and there. Sodermalm's has good nightlife. Yeah, I would strongly recommend it. A bunch of people we met during the week kept telling us, oh, if you want to go to the bars club, go to Sodermalm. Don't even bother with Ostermalm. Ostermalm is too fancy. It's hard to get into places. Go to Sodermalm. That's what they said.
Nice. Nice. So you had a good night. Women were cooperative.
Yes.
And the next day, what do you do?
Yeah, met up with the other Swedish chick that I had met at the Hard Rock Cafe.
Right.
We caught up, talked, had a drink, blah, 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 blah.
This is your third meeting with her, right?
Yes, as a matter of fact. Yeah. So met up with her, talked, blah, 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 blah. Did our thing, walked around, sight saw, boom, she was gone. I was like, all right, got rid of her. She's out of the picture. Rest of the evening, just hung out with my boy, just walking around, taking pictures, seeing sights, doing the touristy stuff. Tried McDonald's. Yeah. Fish McDonald's. Hey, you already know, like, I'm in another country. Like, I tried McDonald's in Norway. Now I'm here. I'm going to try McDonald's here. Portion sizes are much smaller. You don't feel as bloated. Yeah. The Swedish McDonald's, they got it right.
The ingredients are fresh.
Yes, much fresher. Yes. They don't use those crazy oils that they do in the McDonald's here. Nah. Yeah.
An MSG sandwich.
Exactly. Yeah. So yeah, good McDonald's, and it was a good night. It was like, this is the last night, so we got to make the most of it. So we did as much walking around as possible. You'll definitely get your steps in Stockholm because it's a very walkable city. So you'll get as much cardio as you can. You won't need to go running around. I mean, you'll burn calories just by walking. So yeah, and then later that night we went back to Sodermalm to hit the bars and the clubs again. And like it was cool because like we met people, like there was a dude we met from Italy, we met a dude who was from Portugal. We met a dude who was from. We met two guys actually who was from Spain. Actually, we met a dude who was Polish too, and like we all just kind of joined forces together to like pick up chicks basically when we were going out. It was so funny because like we knew why we were there. You know what I'm saying, Splash? Like we knew why we were there. So it
Right.
was kind of cool. Like we were talking and like trying to figure out the lay of the game. Some of those guys, they were students at Stockholm University. Some of them were just visiting, for the week. So it was cool. And actually, the bartenders at Sodra Theater, there was a dude from Spain. He was working behind the bar. Really cool dude. He was putting us on game about Swedish chicks. And then there was a dude from Argentina who was working at the bar too, and a dude from Bolivia. It was a dude from Bolivia. They were all working at this bar in the club, Sodra Theater, and they were just putting us on game, telling us about Swedish chicks, you know what I'm saying? And for them, they said in their opinion, Swedish chicks, they're like, yeah, like they're good for fun, but like to wife them up, take them seriously, they were like, nah, nah. And these dudes, they lived there for a while, so I trust their judgment. And it confirms a lot of what I was noticing, what I was picking up from conversations. Swedish chicks, fun time, but for a wife, I don't
No.
I don't know, because these dudes were even saying like, nah, Swedish chicks, man, nah, for fun, yeah, recreational, yeah, but for marriage, no, because a lot of these Swedish chicks, you get in a relationship with them, sometimes they'll look down on you and act like they're above you because they're Swedish and you're on their home turf. And this those dudes were saying, yeah, because they dated a bunch of Swedish chicks. They always saw like some of them would literally act that way. They're like, okay, like it's not a race thing, it's a nationalistic thing. Yeah. And like even the bartender from Spain, he was like, bro, like he's talking about he wants to move to America because he's like, bro, Sweden was cool, but like, bro, like, I'm tired of these Swedish chicks, man. I need to move to America. He said, I want to try something new. I was like, bro, you come to America, you'll definitely kill it, my man. And he's like, yeah. He said, the thing I like about you Americans, he was telling me and my boy, he said, you guys in America, you have an abundance mindset. Abundance mindset. And Americans, we go after the backsplash. We be hustling.
Yeah.
Yeah. So these Europeans, they pick up on that. And as much as they hate on us, they love us for some of these things. You know what I'm saying? So it was interesting to hear that perspective. And he was even telling like, yo, like my man, brother, like you gonna kill it here in Sweden. I was like, oh, what you mean? He's like, bro, the Swedish girls, bro, they love black guys here, man. This is what the bartender told me. Yeah, the bartender from Spain. He said it. Yeah. Yeah. So I was like, word. It just confirmed everything they were saying. Just boom, 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 boom. Just confirmed a lot of shit. A lot of shit that I've been seeing and a lot of shit I've been hearing.
So, you travel to a number of countries. Where do you rank Sweden at on that list?
Like from a scale of 1 to 10?
Well, just basically what you hear what brothers want out of out of a vacation when they travel someplace on their free time. In the passport bro community, yes, it's sightseeing. It's a mixture of everything. Obviously cost is not up there for Sweden, but as far as fun, things to do, women, nightlife, food, where do you rank Sweden out of all the places you've been to? Actually, which country is number one to you?
Oh, out of all the countries I've been to?
Yeah.
I have to say Dominican Republic, Splash. Yeah, Dominican Republic, because I feel like in terms of what a lot of passport bros are looking for, maybe, whether it's a long-term relationship, whether it's a traditional relationship, whether it's a fundamental relationship in the relationship that they can't seem to find in America, it can be found in the Dominican Republic, but the problem is a lot of the chicks in DR have been ran through. Like I mentioned, go watch our previous interview for you brothers who may not have watched my interview about the Dominican Republic, where I talk about the Dominican Republic. the only issue I would say is you have to proceed with caution in that country as far as vetting the women over there. That's the only thing. But as far as the cost, the safety in Punta Cana in the Dominican Republic, and the quality of life, the pace, I would give it a very top ranking out of all the places I've been.
DR at the top of the list. What's number 2?
Portugal.
Portugal.
Yes.
Mm.
Yes, Portugal for sure. Yeah, Portugal for sure. And honestly, when you think about it, a lot of expats from the United States even and the UK, there a lot of them go to Portugal. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
they feel like the quality of life there is better, the slower pace, good weather, you know what I mean? Yeah, I can understand why Portugal is kind of rising up there as an expat haven for a lot of these Brits and Americans. Yeah.
Now, how come Portugal's up there but not Sweden? What is it about Sweden that doesn't make it number 2? I can understand the Dominican Republic, but what makes Portugal number 2 and not Sweden?
Sweden's very expensive. You know what I mean? I feel like a lot of passport bros, they're looking for a more economic quality of life. You'll get a good quality of life in Sweden, but it's going to cost you. It's not going to be cheap. You know what I mean? You got to think of it in terms of New York City or Los Angeles prices over there.
Well, I don't mean like as far as staying there long term.
Oh, okay.
Just like,
Just just to visit.
Yeah, like, maybe somebody goes over there. I don't know if I want to say anything about like long distance relationships or whatever, but like somebody to pull up and just have a good time, mess around with a couple local women, go back, keep in touch, whatever, then come back maybe 2-3 months later, do the same thing all over again. Just regularly traveling over there, even if they have the money, activities, women, nightlife, sightseeing. You would still say Portugal is number 2 above Sweden.
Yeah, in terms of like going back like regularly, you said?
Yeah. With money not even an issue. Because Sweden, it seemed like there's a lot to explore over there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I think in terms of that, the way you describe that category, I think I would still say Dominican Republic and Portugal because Sweden is cold most of the year. It's freezing out there. It snows like crazy. I mean, the only good months that I would suggest for brothers to go there or would be maybe May, June, July, August, early September. But by mid-September, it's cold, it's freezing, it's snowing, and then that's it. October, November, December, January, February, March, April, May, freezing, snowing, cold. That's why a lot of these Swedes, when it gets cold, you know where they go? They go to Spain. They're trying to get out of there. Yeah. So that's going to be an issue.
Okay, I feel you. I feel you. But as far as like the women, right? As far as the women, well, actually, on your list of countries that you've been to, where would Sweden rank? Is it number 3 or is it a little bit lower than that?
So in terms of like just having fun, like having a good time, like sightseeing, like I just want to make sure I'm trying to get the right category. So in terms of short term, just fun, not long term, right? Not long term.
Yeah, not long term.
Not long term. Okay, not long term.
For somebody who's able to travel at least maybe 5 times a year and be there for about 4 or 5 days at a time.
Okay, so Dominican Republic number 1, Sweden number 2.
Okay.
Yes, in terms of that. So not long term, but yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sweden's, I mean, obviously it's farther.
Mm-hmm.
More expensive. At least the women, they speak English.
Yes.
Food, Dominican Republic over Sweden.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, so food is like, I mean, it's good, but it's not as good as the Dominican Republic.
No, that's Swedish restaurants, Splash.
Was that?
That's you don't see Swedish restaurants for a reason, Splash.
Well, I mean, shit, I don't know anything about over there in Sweden. I mean, that plate that you showed, I'm like, if they whipping up dishes like that, then I'm like, or is that just one of one?
Yeah, I mean, it's a very traditional Swedish meal, but it's good. It's good. But I've always heard other people complain about Swedish food, like say it's bland, it's boring, it's not tasty. I mean, the Swedish meatballs I had were great, but I think Swedish food in general, from a full palate's perspective, is
Right.
really crazy.
All right. Yes. Sweden sound like one of them places that, is it's best for people on the East Coast to travel to.
Yeah.
And for somebody like me, I could probably make that trip I probably only want to make that trip maybe twice a year. Was like the DR. Shit, I could go to the DR tomorrow.
Hmm.
Flight's not that expensive. The duration time isn't that long. Um, Different variety of women out there,
Yes.
different shades of color. It's hot all year round.
Hmm.
Uh, you know, the struggle is real over there.
Yep.
Blessing a woman with $40, $50 is you know
Yeah, they'll be doing this because they're
yes,
Catholic.
right. But I mean, we still got more countries to explore.
Mm,
So, who knows? You might travel to Mexico, Costa Rica, someplace else,
mm.
Ecuador or something. And, who knows? The DR might be second or third in the future.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, you mentioned that you wanted to explore more Latin countries, correct?
I'm considering it. Yeah, yeah. Costa Rica for sure. Panama, I'm very interested in. Mexico as well. Yeah. Those are the main Latin Spanish countries I'm considering. Yeah. And I definitely want to go to Spain. Definitely want to go.
Right. Right. You know what? Like, just for the sake of the channel and the group, I mean, I want to go to the DR, but since you've already been to the DR, I mean, I'm gonna have to either do Mexico, Costa Rica, or Panama. I gotta, because if I go back to the DR, I'm only gonna come back. Yeah, I have stories, but it's only gonna reconfirm what it is that you said. So you know, I gotta go to a place that we haven't talked about on this platform yet. So, but I'm still interested in going to the DR. I saved that resort, but can't bring women back to it. So I
Mm-mm.
don't know. I'm gonna have to check out a different hotel.
Yeah. Regular hotels are probably your way to go for that security. If you want to do Airbnb, you can. But yeah, hotel I think might be something you're more interested in. So I would look into hotel. No all inclusive resorts,
Right,
unless you don't mind not bringing women back.
right. All right, man. So that day ended for you, and then you got on a plane the next morning and you headed out, right?
I did. Yes, yes, I did. I was bummed out too because there was a bunch of chicks I never got to meet, but we still stayed in touch. And it was funny. Like one of the chicks I spoke to, she used to work at the airport. So, she was like watching my stories on Instagram. She was like, "Oh my God, I'm so upset I didn't get to see you. I wanted to meet you and all this stuff." It's like, "Hey, next time, girl, next time." Yeah. It was funny because she was telling me when she worked at the airport, the nicest customers she met were the black guys from America.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah,
So she said, yeah, yeah, she said that.
yeah. I hear that quite a lot. I hear that quite a lot when I travel. You know, I don't really hear too many like pompous, arrogant stories coming from Black American men when we travel.
Hmm.
You know,
That's a good thing.
now because as far as what you explained about Swedish women, I'm liking what I'm hearing. Approachable, nice, good looking. I think the only downside is it's like, all right, the distance is kind of far and it's expensive, but that's about it.
Yeah, and also like they tend to keep to themselves because it's a cold culture, so they don't like to stand out and draw attention. So like if you're trying to cold approach during the day, you might find them to be a bit unresponsive because like remember I said before, they're all men, they don't really approach even themselves. And people keep to themselves. Like if you go on the buses and the trains, you see people, they stay in their lane, they stay in their zone. Like one of the main Scandinavian rules of life is also you can't interrupt anyone's space. A person's space is sacred. You can't disrupt their space. You'll see it on buses too. Sometimes if there's an open seat next to a Swede, the Swede will look and just try to find another seat. That way they don't have to sit too close to the other Swede. It's so
Mm.
yeah, yeah. But if it's nighttime, if it's at the bar or the club, man, that all goes out the window. They're like, oh, yeah, it's time. It's time to get up, approach, boom, 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 bam. But it's funny, my buddy Bashoy, he's a very like sociable guy. So even though I told him like, yeah, you know, Sweden's a different culture, people kind of keep to themselves during the day. He said, man, fuck that shit. He would still just go up to people and talk to them and ask them questions. He didn't give a fuck. That's a guy you want to travel with. You know what I mean? A guy who takes action.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah. Sounds like a good wingman right there.
Very good wingman. Yes.
Man. Whereas like day gaming, the response you get from women is probably the opposite
Very.
in the DR. You
Yes.
know,
Very different. Very different.
DR seem like women, they are open to men approaching them in public.
Very open. Very open. Most of them probably not going to speak English, but as long as you can get around that.
And the bodies are better.
Yes. Yes. More bubbly personalities, more open, more family oriented too. I know a lot of maybe passport bros might be looking for that. You'll definitely find that in the DR. But the only thing you have to worry about is you're gonna find a lot of hoes over there.
Yeah. Hey man, we love the hoes, so it ain't. I'm not mad at a hoe. I don't stop a hoe from hoeing.
Facts.
You know, $20-$30, she do what she does, what she's paid to do.
Precisely. Now, I ain't going to travel thousands of miles to give money to no woman unless she's my wife. But hey, some brothers, they like to do that. Hey, that no disrespect. It's all good. Do it.
Right.
Do whatever you
want. Right. They go into a buffet. I'm like, hey, I want a little bit of everything on my plate. How much is this going to cost?
Exactly. Yeah. I get it. I understand the mindset. It is what it is. I get it.
Do show up with a schedule okay, I want this. I want a tall woman. I want her because she's tall. I want her because she's short. I want her because she got blonde hair. I want her because she got a big ass. I want her because she got big titties. I want her because she got a big ass and big titties. So it's it's a kid at the candy shop over there for a lot of brothers.
That's facts. Candy shop, just like the 50 Cent song.
Yeah. So, man, hey, let me know the next time you travel. I'm excited to hear, your stories and your experiences in the future. I'm gonna start traveling again sometime between either at the end of this month or next month, and it's definitely going to be a Latin American country. I don't know which one yet. I haven't done enough research on Costa Rica just yet. So I might just leave that to you if that's your next destination. When do you plan on traveling again? What month?
I don't know. I'm trying to figure it out, Splash, because I just got back from the DR a few weeks ago, and then I've had the holidays, so I've been with my family for the most part. So now I'm like starting to get back into work. So once I catch up on work and everything, then I'll have a better idea of when I'm leaving. But as of this time, I don't know. Yeah,
it sounds like it'll be a couple of months, huh?
Most likely. Yeah. Work's backed up, since I got back home.
Yeah. All right. Shit, we'll still hold it down over here because I'm gonna travel soon. I know Matthew's gonna travel soon, so uh, I'll definitely be able to, you know, give some stories. I know Matthew's gonna have some stories also, but man, whenever you travel, if Costa Rica is gonna be your next destination, I'll let you go there, and I'll just either go to Mexico or Panama,
Mm.
one or the other. I'm leaning more towards Panama. I've heard a lot of good things about Panama, so Mexico too, you know, but it'll be one or the other.
Yeah.
So, hey, Sam, it's been a pleasure. Thank you for, man, sharing your experiences with us, your stories. Uh, man, you're always more than welcome to come up on a platform, even if we're not, talking about our experiences or whatever. Even if you just want to chime in on the topic, man, you're more than welcome anytime to click the link and to speak your mind. It's an open door policy for you. So you can next time, man, uh anytime, matter of fact, feel free to come up on the platform and speak your mind. So, but we appreciate you for taking out time out of your busy schedule to talk about Sweden. It'll definitely be on my travel list for the future, and I appreciate you.
Yeah, no problem, Spice. Thanks again. It's always a pleasure to come on your platform and talk about my travels. I think this is a record. I think we've gone almost 3 hours this time. I don't think we've ever done that before.
Yeah, man. I had a lot of questions about Sweden, and I learned a lot too. So
yeah, I had a lot to share.
yeah, absolutely.
Couldn't run out of things to say.
Right, right. All right, man. So I'm gonna end the stream here. Uh, I think 3 hours is long enough. I think he answered anybody's question who had it. Dre Logic said what type of food they have in Sweden. We already talked about that. So they got Swedish food over there.
Yep.
All right, man. I appreciate you coming on. And until next time, everybody have a good night. Peace and stay safe.
Peace.
All right, peace.